All right, well, good evening, folks, and welcome back inside the Amarillo Civic Center, a building in which the IceRays have dominated over the last couple of years, but we'll get to that a little bit more later. My name is Alex Von Koidel. Thank you so much for tuning in to IceRays Hockey on the IceRays Broadcast Network, which tonight is a little bit different, I'm sure you've noticed, with the Houston Astros making their second franchise World Series appearance and hosting the LA Dodgers this weekend. There won't be any broadcasting on the radio for us, so we're treating this weekend the way we'll treat our home broadcasts later on this season. Streaming live on YouTube.com for the first time, and as always, on HockeyTV.com. Well, after this weekend, the IceRays will be 80% finished with their longest road stretch in franchise history, the longest of any NAHL team based in the continental U.S. this season. They've gone 500 through the first 6 of those games. Not bad, all things considered, but Coach Flynn is assured there is ample room for improvement. You'll hear from him in a moment, but first, let's go through an overview of tonight's first-timers. The Rays have a couple of them. Debuting in goal for Corpus Christi, Jacob Acton, a native of Livermore, California, played in 2 games this season for the Wenatchee Wild of the BCHL, the British Columbia Hockey League. Played well up there from what I've been told, but was just sort of the odd man out in that goaltending tandem. We'll get a look at what he can do in net tonight. He'll be wearing the number 1. He was dressed for the IceRays last weekend against the Lone Star Brahmas, but he did not see any ice time because Chad Veltri was the man tending net for Corpus Christi. Veltri had his 3-game winning streak slashed by the defending champions last weekend, so tonight Coach Flynn has decided to give Jacob Acton his first taste of playing goal for the Corpus Christi IceRays. He has played in the NAHL before, which is something that cannot be said by the other player debuting for the IceRays tonight on defense, A.J. DeCesar. He will be playing his first game of junior hockey tonight. Brad Flynn expects him to be a pretty dependable two-way defenseman, a New Jersey native. We'll hear what the Rays head coach had to say about A.J. in just a moment. He will be wearing the number 24 tonight for the IceRays. We'll bring you tonight's Coach's Corner right after these messages. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
Janet's Cakery is a local retail bakery that has been in business for 25 years. They provide customers with moist, delicious cakes for all occasions, plus pies, cheesecakes, candles, and ornaments for all cakes. Give Janet's Cakery a call at 991-6212 or visit them online at janetscakery.com. Janet's Cakery opens 7 days a week. That's 991-6212.
In South Texas, at home or at the office with affordable prices. Want more than just your windows cleaned? Check out the Window Genie Big 3, offering window cleaning as well as window tinting and pressure washing. Is also your year-round solution for cleaning those pesky gutters. Call for an estimate at 361-792-3554. That's 361-792-3554. And let the power of the Genie work for you.
It's a luxury of bayfront living at Sendera Bay Point. Located on Enos Jocelyn Road, Sendera Bay Point is newly renovated with upgraded units featuring granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, and designer lighting. Enjoy an on-site masseuse, waterfront yoga classes, water aerobics, fitness boot camps, poolside towel service, Saturday morning homemade resident breakfast, and of course, stunning bay views. Visit SenderaBayPoint.com for more details. Mention this ad for a waived application fee. That's SenderaBayPoint.com.
I'm here with Coach Flynn. Coach, since you've taken over the reins as the head coach here, you've created a culture as a team that's really hard to play against, a team that doesn't get swept very often. The last time you had been swept without taking at least a point from a series was way back on December 4th of last season. That was follow what happened last weekend, walking away empty-handed despite playing some really good periods.
Today I got to do a better job preparing them, and they got to do a better job executing. So we win as a team, we lose as a team. We're a team here, and that's for the coaching staff and the players as well. But we need a more consistent effort. And there's frustrated because you lost because you got a lot of skills, but we were more disappointed.
The dimensions of this rink here are a little bit different. The neutral zone is smaller. How have you used that to your advantage?
Yeah, this is a workers' rink, and you got to get pucks behind their D because it's a short neutral zone, and that causes quick transition. So unless you want to be playing ping pong hockey all night, you got to get pucks behind their D, make their defense face the glass, so they're breaking out, forecheck them hard. That was our identity. That's our identity this year. That we got to be hungry on pucks, and I'm not undefeated here. Our team is in the last 2 years. They're the guys that go out and do the work, and
How critical was it to have ice all week for the first time in nearly a month and then being able to sort of practice at will?
yeah, well, for any team, it's practice brings a lot out. It shows character. It shows some untapped skill that you don't always get to see in the game. It raises compete levels because guys are battling to take other guys' spots in the lineup and on the depth chart. And obviously, it builds chemistry, and especially in junior hockey, it's a lot about chemistry. And our team was really tight last year, and last year's last year. But this year, we got to build some chemistry, and we got to start defining roles, and that's what we try to do this week in practice. But it was nice just to get on the ice at home and get into a little bit of a routine. And routines are big. Everybody has their own routines in life. Humans are creatures of habit, and when you can get in a routine, hopefully it'll breed some success. It might not be right away, but as this goes along, it's going to be beneficial for us for sure.
It'll be interesting to see how the chemistry plays out now going forward with a couple of more players debuting tonight for the IceRays. We talked about Jacob Acton last week. He dressed but didn't play. He's slated to start in net tonight. But another addition has been AJ DeCesar.
Physical, hard-nosed defenseman. He's a little bit of a throwback defenseman, but he has offensive upside and he can move the puck. He's a high-character kind of player. And we felt for our organization and our team this year that we have some smart puck-moving defensemen. We needed some more guys that took pride in defending a little bit harder. So bringing in AJ, we're expecting a solid two-way defenseman that gives us a little bit of grit on the back end and makes it tough for their forwards to get around our net. And obviously, we don't know where we're going to slot him tonight in the special team stuff, but he's a guy that should take a penalty kill role for us, and we expect just an honest effort out of him each and every night, and he's the kind of player that usually brings that.
And we look forward to seeing him in action tonight. He will be sporting number 24. Again, he's a defenseman making his IceRays debut. Coach, you mentioned it earlier. You're not undefeated here. The team is. It's won 6 straight in this building. How do they make it 7?
We got to keep it simple. First and foremost, is we can only control the things that we can control, and that's our work ethic and our attitude. And we got to come out with a strong work ethic and a never give up attitude. We can't worry with the other team scores. We just know we got to just buckle up and get after it a little bit more. So let's make sure tonight we got to make sure we get pucks behind the defense, like I said earlier. We got to defend with a purpose, and we have to have a shooting mentality. The one thing about this rink is you can shoot from everywhere is a good shot. So for me, 30 shots usually equals 3 goals and 40 equals 4. So we want to get a lot of pucks and bodies to the net. And it's not just a shooter, it's guys going to the net hungry for rebounds and looking to pay the price to score some goals.
And last time the IceRays were here, we saw a total of 82 shots fired on both goaltenders. If we see something similar like that tonight, we can probably expect a high-scoring affair. Coach, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
That's Brad Flynn, the head coach of your Corpus Christi IceRays. This has been Coach's Corner. We'll be right back with starting lineups and more right after this. All right, well, welcome back, folks. For those of you listening on YouTube, it sounded like that Coach's Corner did not play according to plan. So we apologize for that. We might post that a little bit later. I'll see to it that that doesn't happen again going forward. Just something with the playback and the reverb. I'll look into it, but we don't expect any issues on the live broadcast, and I'm sure that's what you care about. More so than that, because that's what's going to be happening here tonight, and that's what's going to matter ultimately is what the IceRays can do in 60 minutes of play here at the Amarillo Civic Center. No amount of words can change that. The IceRays now having lost 2 games in a row, the first time that they have been swept on the road all season. Also, the first time that they were swept without having so much as taken at least a point from the series since way back in December. December 4th of 2016 was the last time that the IceRays ended up being swept in a clean slate, meaning they didn't take any points whatsoever from the series. That was against the now extinct Wichita Falls Wildcats. They lost both of those games and didn't manage to at least go to overtime. That's the last time that had happened until last weekend. So Brad Flynn has built this team around the concepts of discipline and toughness. They're not easy to play against, and they're a proud group. They do not like to be swept, and certainly not taking at least a point, and sort of just walking away empty-handed. So really sort of a feeling of unfinished business on both sides here this evening, because the last time the Rays were in this building, they ended up sort of stealing one. They snatched 2 points back on Sunday, October 8th in that series against Amarillo in this building. The game went to overtime, and the Rays had a full 5-on-3 power play to work with because of an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that was called. And so ultimately that's not what led to the goal, but after the 5-on-3 ended and the Bulls sort of had to make a fire wagon line change, the Rays would score on that ensuing 5-on-5 in overtime, which is extremely rare. Trevor Wilhelm, the one doing the honors to this day, he is the only IceRay this season to have a game-winning overtime goal to his credit. And now the Amarillo Bulls mascot Rampage has just hit the ice. We're just about ready to rumble here at the Amarillo Civic Center. IceRays Bulls for the third time this season. The Rays have not lost a game against the Bulls in this building since February 20th of 2016. That came at the hands of a 5-3 defeat. Brad Flynn was not even the coach at the time. He was in the Quebec Major Junior League. John Buchanan was the head coach the last time the IceRays lost in this building. Since then, they are 6-0 while playing at the Amarillo Civic Center and have outscored their opponents 24-9 here at this rink. For those of you listening on YouTube who didn't catch the interview because of the technical problems we were having with the feedback, since we're on the short end of that margin, 50-32 in favor of Amarillo. Chad Veltri having made an impressive 49 game and would later go on to be named the South Division First Star of the Week. But he will not be playing tonight unless Jacob Acton's debut goes sourly. Obviously, we were hoping against that. Jacob Acton obviously starting in net for Brad Flynn and the IceRays. Jay Regula flanked by Brendan Miller and Angus Scott, the largest line on either side here this evening. Matt Acioli and Trevor Wilhelm will be rounding out the back end for the IceRays. The Amarillo Bulls starting lineup has just been announced. And their goaltender, Jason Grande, hits the ice surface ready to rock. Up front, Colin Price, Simon Norberg, and John Russell. And on defense, Marcus Chorney as usual, but he's got a new defensive partner from the last time we were here. It's not Brendan Mikhailian who will be alongside him. It's Nikita Sokolov, the 6'5" native of Moscow, Russia, who has not played against the IceRays this season, but he is suited up for the third time this season here tonight. He is a rookie, and he is a big boy. The Rays might have their work cut out for them, chipping the puck into those corners here tonight, going up against that big 6'5" Russian defenseman. And now we expect a fairly emotional moment here, folks. For those of you who have not heard, Rocky Russo, the head coach of the Amarillo Bulls, tragically lost his father not long ago. It was just a week ago to this day when Rocky Russo's father, Ronald, was tragically killed in a motorcycle accident. Our thoughts and prayers are with Ronald Russo and with the entire Russo family, and we wish the best in the emotional recovery for Rocky and the rest of his family. We're going to have a moment of silence a little bit later on. The captains have just met at center ice, Alex Truscott and Brendan Miller, and have skated over now towards the left corner in the Amarillo zone for the ceremonial puck drop. And tomorrow night will also be a pretty big sentimental night here at the Amarillo Civic Center. They've got their Hockey Beats Cancer night as well tomorrow. We'll get to that and more in a little bit, but first, the singing of our country's national anthem. just a moment here.
Rocky's dad was a first responder and firefighter for 37 years, and you can see the father and son resemblance, personality, passion. Ron was always excited to come to the Texas Panhandle to watch the Bulls and cheer on his son. Rocky's first year with the Bulls and opening night this year, there wasn't a more proud person than Ron Russo when his son was able to hoist the Robertson Cup championship trophy back in Frisco in May 2013. Ron, thank you for raising an exceptional young man coach and allowing us to share Rocky. You did an outstanding job with him, and we know you are proud of the man he has become. Our thoughts and prayers are with Rocky Russo and his family in Youngstown, Ohio tonight in this most difficult time. We're thinking about you, Rocky, the Amarillo Bulls family and community. Your father will be missed. Gentlemen, please remain standing with your hats removed as we stand for tonight's singing to the Stars Maple Band brought to you by Liberty Tax Services. Performing our national anthem, our good friend and previous manager of Panhandle Tickets, Carolee Clay.
Carolee Clark singing the country's national anthem, and beautifully done. Opening face-off just about underway here at the Amarillo Civic Center, a venue in which the IceRays have not been defeated in over 2 seasons now. Again, February 20th, February 20th of 2016, the last time the IceRays have lost in this building. And we said it once earlier, 24-9, the IceRays have outscored the Amarillo Bulls here. But the last time they were in this building, it wasn't quite so lopsided. In fact, IceRays head coach Brad Flynn said it. You probably saw it in the preview. The last time the Rays left this building, he said that it felt like they were making out of here like bandits. They were outshot 50-32, and Chad Veltri, in a lot of ways, stole the show. Tonight, if the show is going to be stolen, it will not be done so by Chad Veltri. It'll be done by either Jacob Acton for the IceRays or Jason Grande for the Bulls. Again, up front, centering this big line, C.J. Regula with Brendan Miller and Angus Scott, countered by Colin Price, Simon Norberg, and John Russell. The puck drops, opening faceoff underway, and we're back in action here at the Amarillo Civic Center. C.J. Regula takes a tumble as he rims it around the left wall. And Brendan Miller sends one up to Angus Scott, who chipped it further, working against Marcus Chorney. Taken by Nikita Sokolov behind the Amarillo net, who will try to rim it and get it past Acioli. And on the second effort, the Bulls have cleared it down, but it looks like that's gone too far, and icing is called against Amarillo. And that icing was brought to you by Hard Knocks Bar and Grill. The Ice Rays will get an offensive zone face-off to follow. Again, folks, if you're tuning in on YouTube.com, thanks so much for joining us for our first ever live broadcast on YouTube. Let us know what you think of it. We're really curious. We hope to hear your feedback, as much of it as possible. I know that the Coach's Corner didn't go so well, but leave that aside. And we're curious to hear about how the live broadcast sounds to you. So go ahead and let us know in the comment section on YouTube or on Twitter or Facebook, or whichever's easiest for you. So the Bulls get the puck out of their own zone through the neutral zone. They make 3/5 of a line change, but the puck was stymied at the blue line when the Bulls tried to cross into Ice Rays territory. Now the Rays have it. Near the Bulls logo, it's backhanded by Blake Coffey on net, and Jason Grande, with his glove on it, decides to take a whistle as we're 1 minute into this contest with no shots and no score. Remember, folks, the Ice Rays will be back at home 2 weeks from today. On Friday, November 10th, they'll be giving away free magnet schedules to the first 1,000 fans through the door at the American Bank Center as they take on the Topeka Roadrunners, who the Ice Rays will play on the road next weekend and travel up to the Kansas Expo Center for the last time this season. And I'm sure the Ice Rays bus driver is saying, thank goodness. Steve Robo, who does a tremendous job transporting the team safely everywhere we go, and he's been busy the last few weeks. The Bulls are caught offside. That offside was presented by Ad Lyons, and the faceoff returns to the neutral zone. Josh Tripp still on the injured list for the Ice Rays, and he is a huge omission on that left side. And Brad Flynn deciding to stick with Matt Novo to fill the void left behind by Josh Tripp. Novo's out there now alongside his line mates Pavel Korshkov and Larry Youngworth. So from behind the net, Acton will wheel it around onto the left wing side where Novo takes a hit, but he made the play. And now here comes Korshkov trying to dangle his way past Mikhailian, who tries to close him off into the corner. Korshkov escaped with it, but he lost the puck, and here come the Bulls on a 3-on-2 developing. Truscott's got it and will fire. Acton making his first save as an Ice Ray with some leather flashing. A routine-looking glove stop. And his fellow debuter, A.J. DeCesar, gives him a tap on the pads. If I'm not mistaken, this is DeCesar's first shift as an Ice Ray as well. He's wearing the number 24, and he's out there. Face off to Acton's right, his blocker side. Puck drops in the circle, and it's won cleanly by Mattis Havrila. And it's been tossed off the glass and down. The Bulls defenseman Gleb Murtazan going back to retrieve it, rather Bronson Adams. And it's worked out by Brendan Datema. Gets it over to Nick Stuckless. The Canadian boy feathers it further. Gleb Murtazan chips it in behind the Ice Rays goal. It's sent around again by Jake Acton. Murtazan holds it along the right point and sends it down below the goal line again. Wilhelm takes a heavy hit. Roof has it in the other corner. Tries to spring one up. It's sauced over to the right point and kept in the zone beautifully by a skate-to-stick reception by Brendan Datema. On the left side, Bronson Adams scales it back below the goal and working for it with one hand on his stick. Murtazan trying to squeak it through to Datema at the point. And the Bulls are on a delayed offside here. Roof will pick it up and the Ice Rays exit their own zone. Amarillo making a partial line change. The Ice Rays hoping to catch them in the middle of it. Trevor Wilhelm in pursuing it. He's got it. Tries to turn it low towards the corner, but it's broken up and the Bulls have cleared it again. Regula slapped it back to Blake Coffey in his own zone. 3 minutes having gone by at the Amarillo Civic Center with no score. Angus Scott was ridden off the puck, and now it's taken by Nikita Sokolov and sent through the middle of the ice. And diagonally, Coffey's going to have to gun it down and shoot it back the same way it came. Chorney causes the Ice Rays to be on a delayed offside. A couple of one-handed ping-pong efforts there between multiple sticks as a heavy backhand shot from the deep slot gets blocked. Brad Flynn talked about the danger of playing ping-pong in this building because the neutral zone is so small. That's a trap that a lot of teams can fall into. We prefer that the Ice Rays just keep it simple and dump the puck in a place like this. Riley St. Ange on the forecheck, couldn't steal it from Sokolov. The Ice Rays have cleared it deep into Amarillo territory. Halford with a nice pass, and St. Ange's shot is dealt with a stick of Grande, picked up by Peltonen, who looks up to Steinacher, left point. Whistles one wide, and the rebound caromed off the backboards, and it missed Halford. And the Bulls have cleared it. Amarillo on a delayed offside. They can't touch it. Wisely decide to let it go, and Coffey has just slammed it off the boards and down. Alford trying to lift the stick. He gets St. Ange on his horse down the right half wall. Pinned up by Warmoth. He escapes him. St. Ange back to the point for Steinacher. D over to Acioli, who lets it go, and it was blocked by Mikhailian. And Peterson will clear. Alex Peterson had a couple of goals last time these teams met. Here comes Stuckless, losing a handle on the puck. And the back check from Acioli had something to do with that, if I'm not mistaken. Warmoth playing aggressively down the boards. He's got Stuckless filling in for him. And he will let a shot go. It gets blocked by his own man. Gets it right back in the middle. He is tripped. No penalty will be called, and the IceRays looks like catch a bit of a break. On the outlet, it's Riley St. Ange down his off wing, who chips it in past Mikhailian. Returns a check on Swanson, who gave him a late little bump. Trevor Wilhelm spinning with it. Last time these teams met, he was the last one to score. He was the overtime hero, Trevor Wilhelm, number 22 in red, as Acton will hang on to that puck, which worked its way into his crease from a tough angle. And we're going to see a lot of that this weekend, folks. The Amarillo Bulls have, they're obviously they're very used to playing in this building, and they know the strengths and weaknesses to be had when it comes to this rink. And they make no mistake about it, they shoot from just about anywhere, particularly the corners. They really love to shoot from those tough angles. A big part of the reason we saw Chad Veltri forced to make 49 saves the last time these teams came together. The puck is sent back to Wilhelm. Now to Novo from the red line, he will clear it in. Waiting for it on the other side, Pavel Koreshkov scored his first goal as an IceRay in this building. Trevor Wilhelm off the carom from the boards from the left point, gives it to Novo, the weak backhander. Easily blocked, but not cleared by Amarillo. Tema got it up to Truscott, who gets it around Youngworth and down. Acton will stop its progress behind the net, and Wilhelm will pick it up. 6 minutes have gone by in the opening period. No score between the IceRays and the Bulls here at the Amarillo Civic Center. The Rays turn the puck over in their own zone as a backhander is blocked away by Acton. It's worked at and cycled down to Nick Fay. Nice body presence there by Mattis Haverla. The puck is still loose down there, worked for by DeCesar. Taken instead by Fay. Coming off the boards into the circle, diving backhander goes wide. And Fay will send it back to Chorney. A long slap shot that got blocked and ricocheted wide of the net. A.J. DeCesar took Rex down, and the IceRays on the breakout. The pass works its way onto the stick for Bud Winter, whose shot is turned aside. Winter's got it now in the neutral zone. Slings one off the glass. Chorney has to hustle back to get it. Noah Roof turns on the Jets on the forecheck. Chorney gets it to Sokolov. And Nikita Sokolov playing in just his third game as an Amarillo Bull. He was injured to start the season, but boy, are they happy to have him back. Regula pressuring Rex. He steals it, looks to the middle. He did not see the trailer. He probably would have passed it there. Sent from Miller to Yanni. Now Yanni over to Coffey. Long wrist shot blocked by Brett Abdelnauer. Well said Jacob Nitschke, who's worn Abdelnauer's number the last 2 years here in Amarillo. One of the challenges of broadcasting in junior hockey is the numbers change from player to player almost every year. So if you stay in the same division, or if you move divisions, it really doesn't matter. You're going to have a tough time memorizing numbers from season to season. It usually takes a few games before you can be as sharp as you can be. Now Regula finishing the check on Colin Price. Spinning with it now Simon Morberg, who gets it up. Chorney back to Morberg, left circle, shoots it, scores! It was a beautiful pass by Marcus Chorney through the neutral zone, a diagonal pass, and it was right on the tape for Simon Morberg, who's got his third goal of the season. Just ripped one over the glove of Jacob Acton from the top of the left circle, and the Bulls have opened the scoring. 7 minutes and 56 seconds into this contest. It's 1-0 Bulls. Bulls open the scoring on just their 4th shot on net. And boy, was that just a cannon off the stick of Simon Morberg. Another player who did not play against Corpus Christi a few weeks ago when these teams met up. Amarillo pretty heavily riddled with injuries and whatnot at the start of their season, just as the IceRays were. There's a shot there from Alex Peterson, goes wide of the left post. He's got it again in the right corner, dangling towards the slot. Halford was there to pick it off and clear it. Acioli intercepting the clearing attempt and marches it back into Bulls territory. Low wrist shot is gloved and snagged by Jason Grande. So we're going to head to our first period TV timeout. Take a quick pause here from the Amarillo Civic Center. 1-0 Bulls with 11:39 to go in period 1. Be right back, folks. We'll have to look out for Jake Acton's resolve after giving up that goal just moments ago to Simon Morberg. He's playing in his first game. Obviously, the nerves are going to be there, the jitters a little bit. For a lot of goaltenders, making the first save is the biggest save that they worry about, just getting a grasp on the puck. He did that, but the 4th shot on goal, unfortunately, he wasn't able to stop. Good goaltenders always find a way to bounce back and don't think for too long about the last goal they just allowed. Riley St. Ange was clearly slashed. A penalty will be called. Acton to the bench. Centering pass. Oh, and Halford just couldn't get the one-time shot away. Beautiful stick check from behind. Or that's a tap-in goal for Halford, who's got it now in the left corner. Wilhelm's pass intercepted. And the Rays will go to a power play, but boy, they should have just tied the game a second ago, folks. Garrett Halford with a wide-open net. And I couldn't quite tell which bull it was to check his stick from behind, but it prevented the shot and saved a goal, no doubt, because Garrett Halford's not going to miss from there. The Rays to their first power play of the night, slashing called against Bronson Adams. The Rays right now, the only power play in the NAHL, clicking at a less than 10% rate. It's something they've really got to work on and remedy as the year goes on. Riley St. Ange missed the keep at the left point, and Wilhelm will recover for him. Miller sends it over to St. Ange. Good little skate-to-stick play. Peltonen lost a handle on it, and the Bulls have cleared. Peltonen enters the zone on the right side, slamming on the brakes and sending it down towards the adjacent corner. We'll get it back over his blade. Nice little keep there by Trevor Wilhelm. About 5 or 6 players battling for it near the half boards, just outside of the point. And the IceRays come up with it. St. Ange sends it around to Alexei Peltonen. Gives it to Novo. Good saucer pass to St. Ange, who fires. It was off the shoulder, it looked like, of Grande. Now to Wilhelm, straight away, shoots. Grande with a glove save. Beautiful pass from Matt Novo to Riley St. Ange, who's still looking for his first goal as an IceRay. Came pretty close there. Jason Grande made himself look Grande. Came out. That's what good goaltenders are going to do in that situation. Take away all the daylight. Make themselves look as big as possible. Bulls have just cleared it down. 45 seconds to go on the power play. This IceRays power play presented by AEP Texas. About halfway through period one, they're hoping to level the score. Coffee bounces one off the end wall. It's lifted at there by Koreshkov. Nice keep in the zone by Yanni. Sets up Coffee on the left side. Back to Yanni. He holds on. Return pass. Yanni with a one-timer deflected off the chest of Grande, who makes the save. Youngworth's got it. Sent over to the right half wall. Tipped back to Yanni. One-time drive again. Gloved by Grande, who's looked sharp. He's had to be. IceRays firing from every direction, just as Coach Flynn has told them to do. Pavel Koreshkov working pretty nicely there in that right circle, setting up a lot of different looks. There were shots or passes. He's got some pretty good hockey sense out there, and he's going to be trusted to take this offensive zone face-off with a baker's dozen seconds remaining on this power play. Chorney didn't have nearly enough gas on that rim attempt to clear it. Coffey sends it back to Angus Scott. Scott for Youngworth. Youngworth gave it over and misfired on the pass to Koreshkov. Pavel Koreshkov twisting, gets it to Youngworth. Pulls back to full strength as Bronson Adams is let out of the box, and Coffey fans on the shot. Back to Youngworth now, whose shot was blocked. Coffey gets it again in the right circle, couldn't get it through. Bounces right to Koreshkov, who sends it to the goal line. Stiff attempt from Youngworth denied. Koreshkov tees it up and blasts it. What a save! And Jason Grande is now 9 for 9. Make it 10 for 10. Scorekeeper was a little late there. 10 for 10 for Jason Grande. And Brad Flynn said in the pregame coach's corner that he's a pretty firm believer that if you generate 30 shots on net, most of the time you'll get 3 goals. 40 shots on net, 4 goals. The average netminder has his save percentage just around, or a little bit over 900. So numbers don't lie. And the law of averages says that will be the case. The IceRays need to continue to pummeling Grande with shots because he looks like he's in the zone. The Bulls get a 2-on-1 off after that breakout. Skate to stick play by Peterson. Gave it across. What a save by Acton, sliding over back to his right. He's able to rob Nick Stuckless, making his Amarillo debut. Nick Stuckless, a native of Orangeville, Ontario, again playing his first goal as a Bull tonight. A lot of players making their debut. It's pretty late in the season for there to be 3 players playing in their first game. Check that, 4 as a matter of fact. Brendan DeTema, number 12 for Amarillo, so 2 for each side. The backhand centering attempt is knocked out of there. Nice defensive awareness by Wilhelm. And the Rays get it up down the left wing side. Haverla misfired on the pass to Noah Roof, who will pursue it. Bronson Adams, the other number 23. Tangled up with Roof at the moment. He escapes him for now, and the Bulls' John Russell has his pocket picked by St. Ange dangerously in front of the blue paint. The Bulls have alleviated the danger for now. Wilhelm intercepting it at center ice and spinning it back up to Peltonen. Peltonen finds a man open on the right wing side. Halford will blast it. It's right into the chest of Grande. Riley St. Ange was checked after that whistle by Brendan DeTema. The IceRays not too happy about that. 7:46 to play in period 1. It's a 1-0 Bulls lead. Yet the Rays are doubling the Bulls in shots on net 10-5. If they count that last one, which they just did, 11-5 in favor of Corpus Christi. It's just a common theme. It doesn't really tend to be one particular side, but anytime a couple of teams come together in this building, there are just a lot of shots on net. Blake Coffey tips it off a stanchion, hoping to get it to St. Ange. No luck. Abdelnauer behind the Corpus Christi net. Backhands one up to the top. DeTema. Yanni wrapped up with Abdelnauer right now. Acioli's down there as well, rather Peltonen, check that. 4 players shoveling away. The referee Lindner demanding from a distance that they move it, they finally do. Blake Coffey stops behind his own goal. He will start it up. Has to turn. Abdelnauer doing some good work on the forecheck. Coffey wheels out to the other side and sends it up to Halford. Garrett Halford charging up to the red line, tries to guide it into Bulls territory, went off of an Amarillo player. Bulls back in control. Swanson feeds it across to McKinley, and the smooth skating defenseman gains the zone and fires. It went off a stick and over the protective netting and out of play with 6:45 to go in period one. The Bulls still with a 1-0 lead. The lone goal being scored by Simon Morberg, his third of the season. And in response to Morberg's goal, Jake Acton made his biggest save as an ice ray. And just a couple of moments ago, huge lateral stop. He had to slide over on a 2-on-1 after the pass was perfectly on the tape. And goaltenders' jobs on 2-on-1s, it's not to stop the pass, it's to stop the shot. They take the trigger man, and the defenseman's job is to take away the pass to the player back door. But the pass was perfect. And had the puck gone in, it would not have been Acton's fault, but he made the save regardless. Angus Scott working for it behind the Amarillo net, tries to send it around. It's turned towards the goal. Chorney kicked it out of there. And Brancho feeds it back through the middle, hoping for Truscott. Miller stymied him, and Scott will slap it into the zone. Takes a carom off the left corner wall. CJ Regula hacking and whacking away. Brancho bounces one out to the left wing side. Taken by Aaron Swanson. Sends it below the IceRays cage. AJ DeCesar takes a heavy check on the forecheck there from Alex Truscott, the Bulls captain. Scott goes down. The Bulls flip it back into the right corner. Off the boards it bounces. Steinacher reverses it to AJ DeCesar. Turned over there by Nick Fay. And Fay will send it back slowly to Detema at the right point. Long wrist shot deflected just wide of the right post. That was very close. And Detema nearly with his first point as a Bull in his debut. After that well-timed point shot. Nick Fay pinned up by AJ DeCesar. Fay pickpocketed him earlier on this shift to start all this, and finally the Rays pry it off of his stick and get it out. Angus Scott stick handling into the attacking zone. His pass was well behind the intended target. The Bulls are out of the woods for now as they clear it out to center. Blake Coffey taking command of it. Can't clear it. Nice stick. Turned over. Stuckless is in. He shoots. Stopped by Acton. And he has kept his team within one. Boy, Blake Coffey was not expecting that puck to stay in the zone. Acton with a good defensive poke check there to again bail the IceRays out after some sloppy defensive play in front of him. The IceRays are going to hope for a whistle here so they can get the changes they want underway. The trailer here, Warmoth lets it go. It was blocked by Coffey, who looks like he was a bit stung by it. And Bud Winter shovels one up to the blue line, held in the zone by Russell, and sent over to Price, who tipped it wide. Connor Yanni loses his stick. Price blocks the pass, but it bounces high in the air near the Bulls bench. The left point, it's Bud Winter. Takes a check from Morberg. Brendan McKinley takes over. Taking over the Amarillo coaching duties this weekend will be Austin Sutter, David Nees, and Harry Mahood, with Rocky Russo absent, obviously, for this weekend. The Bulls have just iced the puck. There have not been a lot of icings here in this first period. That icing brought to you by Hard Knocks Bar and Grill. And the IceRays will get an offensive zone draw. Just under 4 minutes to play in the first period. They're out shooting the Bulls 11-7, but they're trailing 1-0. Could very easily be 2 or 3-0. Acton has recovered extremely well. We talked about how important it would be for him to respond and bounce back after that goal that most likely he wishes he had back. It was a really well-placed shot and a hard shot. Simon Morberg early in this period to score. But he's recovered really well and has looked extremely sharp since. He's had to be, with Grande at the other end, being a perfect 11 for 11. Makes some huge stops of his own. Haverla with a clean offensive zone win. Bud Winter turning with it. Hits it down to Haverla. The Slovak centerman can't feed it back to Wilhelm. It was broken up by Fay. Rather Rex, who tried to chip it through. Off the wall it bounces. Bud Winter on his off wing, hoping to stick handle past Marcus Chorney, and the Bulls top blue liner shut that one down with ease. Stephen Rex from the red line sends it behind the IceRays net. 3.5 to play in the first. 1-0 Amarillo. Noah Roof with a beautiful backhand pass. A no-looker springs St. Ange down his right side. St. Ange with a weak wrist shot on net, sticked aside by Grande. And Murtazen trying to scoot in. Lost the puck to Garrett Halford. Stolen back by Swanson, who gains the zone on the right side. Drops it off. Bronchot is in. He will fire. Blocked by Acioli. Puck is battled for by Peltonen. He wins it from Swanson. And here come the Rays on a potential 3-on-2. Nice pass by Peltonen. St. Ange had the puck rolling on him. Couldn't settle it down. St. Ange is checked by Detema. And Peltonen is checked by Truscott. 2:45 to play in the first. 1-0 Bulls. And here they come with the puck. It's flipped in from the red line into the left corner where it bounces. Alex Truscott sent into the wall by Yanni. Coffey watching from a distance, hoping this puck squirts loose somewhere and he can go retrieve it and start the breakout, but it's still tied up. Finally, Bronchot scoots in to pick it up and send it back to Bronson Adams with a long wrist shot. And it's stopped from a distance by Jacob Acton. Truscott with an extra shove on counter Yanni. After that puck was scooped up by Jason Bronchot, it was sent back to the blue line, and the players who were in the scrum battling for it had no idea. They were still in a tussle down there in the corner, seemingly unbeknownst to the fact that the puck had moved about 5 seconds ago. Regula with a defensive zone face-off win. Wilhelm over to Miller. Now up to Angus Scott. Warmouth gives him a high hit. Peterson sends it around his own end wall. Turned over to Scott. Had it loose between his skates. Picked up by Wilhelm, who lets it go. Blockered away by Grande. That was the same area where Wilhelm scored the game-winning overtime goal the last time these teams met. Good little stick lift there by Miller, but he couldn't take the puck away from Nick Fay. Alex Peterson twisting away from Wilhelm in the near corner. Peterson wheels behind the net. Misfired on the pass over to Fay. And now it's taken again by Miller. Miller sends it through the middle. On the tape for Scott, who lets it fly just wide of the left post. Gula takes a big hit from Stuckless. The Bulls are out into the neutral zone, a very short neutral zone. It's flung into the opposite corner. 90 seconds remaining in period one. 1-0 Amarillo. 13 8-year shots on net in favor of Corpus Christi. Acioli from behind his own goal gives it to Yanni, his fellow veteran blue liner. His pass was over the glove of Regula. Will this be icing? No. The Bulls are going to have to play it. Marcus Chorney twisting it over too far for Sokolov. Taken instead by Novo, whose pass was easily picked off by Colin Price. Price sends it around, and Yanni's got it in his own zone. John Russell pinned up by Yanni. Can't do a whole lot of maneuvering down there. The puck goes over his stick. John Russell scored the lone Amarillo goal the last time these teams came together. Koreshkov settles the puck down in the slot and lets it rip just wide of the left post. And it's loose and carried out of harm's way by Amarillo's Simon Morberg, their lone goal scorer tonight. Backhands one just past his own blue line. Koreshkov will feed it back to Blake Coffey. Season now in first periods, the IceRays having scored 6 goals, given up 19. It's been their weakest period by far. And tonight, despite outshooting Amarillo, they again trail in the goals department. They're going to have to find a way to come from behind. Knocked down by Blake Coffey. And so ends period one. 1-0 in favor of the home side. 13 8-year shots in favor of Corpus Christi. But it's the Bulls who have the lead. The lone goal being scored by Simon Morberg. Jacob Acton making his debut, looking very sharp after responding to that goal scored by Morberg. And I'll tell you, folks, that was just I'm not going to say it was a 1 in a million shot, but it was a beautifully placed shot by Simon Morberg. And even if Jacob Acton had his glove up and right where it needed to be, I'm not sure he could have saved it. There was a bit of a screen set by his own defenseman, and that's why shooters are always told to not be afraid to shoot from those mid to high range distance shots, because you can use your defenseman, the opposing defenseman, as a screen, and depending on the way they're moving, it can really be troublesome for netminders to track down the puck through all that movement and those bodies in front of him. And before he knows it, it's right on top of him, and before he can react in time, it's in the back of the net. So Just a well-timed, well-placed shot by Simon Morberg for his third goal of the season. And that's the only goal we've had up till this point. The IceRays looked pretty solid on their power play they had a few minutes after that, but again, failed to convert. On the season, now just 6 for 63 on the power play, though. In their defense, the Amarillo Bulls with an extremely strong penalty kill this year. And strongest penalty killer has got to be the goaltender, and he certainly was Jason Grande in that opening period, stopping all 13 of the shots he faced. Amarillo's penalty kill on the season now at 81%, which is good for 10th best in the NAHL. So it's come back down to earth a little bit after getting off to a really, really good start this season. Still respectable at 81%. Again, 1-0 your score through the first 20 minutes of play here at the Amarillo Civic Center. Thanks so much for joining us, folks, on HockeyTV.com and on YouTube. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast up till this point, and we hope you're having a great Friday night. We're going to step aside here at the Amarillo Civic Center, take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your Janet's Cakery out-of-town scoreboard update right after this.
Thrifty Nickel is home of the Guaranteed to Sell classified ads, covering all Corpus Christi communities within a 75-mile radius. Place your personal classified with us, and if it hasn't sold in 4 weeks, we'll run it for free until it sells. Visit us in the Gulfway Shopping Center or give us a call at 361-980-0008 or online at cc.thriftynickel.com. Thrifty Nickel, where you get nationwide coverage with hometown service.
Lose weight, get fit, or just improve your overall fitness? Then train with a professional at Sports Fitness Solutions. Former IceRays player and current team strength and conditioning coach Jeff Pelucio can help you reach your goals with a specific program built just for you. Choose from one-on-one or group training sessions. Sports Fitness Solutions can help you lose weight, increase energy, build muscle, and get you feeling better today. Call Jeff with Sports Fitness Solutions today at 774-0874. That's 774-0874. And train like the IceRays do. Radiology and Imaging is the official imaging center of your IceRays. The Best of the Best award winner 7 years in a row provides diagnostic imaging services in a caring, comforting patient environment with leading-edge imaging technology. Their extensive expertise in medical imaging allows them to not only give physicians and patients the very best in service and care, but your IceRays as well. So the next time you need imaging done, call Radiology and Imaging at 853-4503. That's 853-4503.
Hottest graphics between here and those other two coasts. Gulf Coast Graphics is the industry leader and the only Feller certified wrap shop in the coastal bend. You might even say we're rapalicious. Gulf Coast Graphics has the best graphics designers, best installers, the most cutting-edge equipment in the industry, and the most innovative and creative staff around. So when you want your business to stand out, the website, GulfCoastGraphicsSite.com. The mission, to make your vehicle wraps and graphics the biggest, the brightest, and the best in the coastal bend. Gulf Coast Graphics wraps, make signs, stickers, banners, vehicle magnets, and t-shirts too. Go on, we dare you to stand out in the marketplace. Call the Wrap Masters at Gulf Coast Graphics. Call 854-0213, 854-0213.
Jet Air is Corpus Christi's newest place for fun. 30,000 square feet of trampoline park with foam pits, slam ball, a ninja course, and dodgeball. A place to let your inner spirit soar. Show you've got game. Harness your inner ninja and burn up the competition. For parties from 5 to 500, kids, corporate, and adult team building, it's the #1 place for fun in Corpus Christi. Get out, get active, get air. 4701 South Staple Street in Corpus Christi.
With cell phones?
We're unable to take your call at the moment. Please leave your name, number, and a brief...
When time is money and the message is urgent, you need two-way radio.
Unit 5, return to yard immediately.
Safe, reliable, distracted, driver-legal two-way radio from A&B Communications with built-in fleet tracking.
Units 14 and 22, this is Unit 5 at well site 108.
Hand units, vehicle-mounted base stations, fleet tracking, on-site or wide-area communications for business. Online at abcom.net. That's abcomm.net. When you need to,
Talk business.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and thanks again for joining us on the IceRays Broadcast Network tonight, HockeyTV.com and YouTube for the first time. Alex Von Coydel with you this evening to bring you IceRays hockey. It's a 1-0 score in favor of Amarillo through the first 20 minutes. That goal scored by Simon Morberg, coming at 7:56 into the first period. Just the fourth shot on goal. They managed to beat Jake Acton, though he responded in a very strong way to keep the IceRays within one. Honestly, folks, this game probably should be 2-0 in favor of Amarillo. There was a nice little 2-on-1 pass that Acton reacted to perfectly and moved over from his left to his right to rob the Bulls on that 2-on-1 rush. Then had a really nice defensive poke check after a defensive zone breakdown by the IceRays, in which Blake Coffey thought he had cleared it, but a miraculous keep was made at the left point by Alex Peterson, batting the puck down out of midair, showing really nice hand-eye coordination. Coffey, having not expected it, lost an edge, wiped out, and gave the Bulls essentially a wide-open 1v1 against Jake Acton, and he was equal to the challenge. For the IceRays, he is 7 of 8 in net in his debut. On the other end, Jason Grande has been strong as well. He made all 13 saves that he had to in that period, and most impressively, he really shut down an IceRays power play that looked like it sort of might be coming out of its funk a little bit. Had some really good movement, some good looks, and some good shots on net. And the chemistry seems to be growing. And Pavel Koreshkov really impressing on that power play, sort of running things from the right circle. Set up shots from all over the offensive zone, took some himself, but Jason Grande was able to deal with everything thrown his way. Last time these teams came together, it wasn't Grande who the IceRays had to beat, it was Brandon Bussey, who's since been traded. Alexei Masenko is on the bench tonight for Amarillo, and he will not step in unless Grande's night goes awry. We'll see if the Rays can make that happen. Again, in the last 6 games between these teams in this building, Corpus has outshot Amarillo 24-10, if you include that last goal scored by Morberg. They've definitely had the edge, the IceRays here, and the Bulls haven't beaten them in nearly 2 years' time in this rink. But right now they're on pace to do so. 3 weeks ago, the Rays managed to come back, though it took until the third period before they really started rolling. Garrett Halford opened the scoring about 4 minutes into that game, that first game in which these teams met this year. And Halford had a goal, he was answered, and then in the third period, all of a sudden, there was just an explosion. The biggest period scoring-wise that the IceRays have had all year came in this rink 20 days ago. Saturday, October 7th. Had 4 unanswered in the third period, but they can't rely on surges like that to happen all the time because they just don't happen all the time. Let's take a look at our Janet's Cakery Out of Town scoreboard update while we've got a few minutes. Starting with a fellow South Division team, the Topeka Roadrunners, though tonight they are not playing in the South. They're in Springfield, Illinois, taking on the Junior Blues. That game is scoreless through the first period at the Nelson Center in Springfield, Illinois. Austin and Brookings taking on the Blizzard. Again, no score through the first 20 minutes. Minnesota and Aberdeen meeting once again. Costa Liquorezos, the former Amarillo Bull, scoring for Minnesota to get things started at the Odie Ice Center in Aberdeen, South Dakota. It was answered by Colby Fletcher, and then the Wilderness would answer back on a tally by Gino Lucia. Star of the week earlier this season in the Midwest Division. Lucia right now has the game-winning goal as it stands, 2-1 in favor of Minnesota up in Aberdeen, South Dakota tonight. Northeast hosting New Jersey, leading 1-0. The Jackalopes and the Lone Star Brahmas squaring off at the Nitec Sports Center tonight. No score in that game so far, nearly halfway through the opening period. The Bismarck Bobcats and the Minot Minotauros at Mesa, no score. Shreveport fell short in its sweep over the Kenai River Brown Bears last weekend, I should say. The Bears would respond after being smoked 6-2 on that Friday night. They came back and answered Shreveport with a shootout victory. So the Mudbugs right now hoping to get back on the winning trail in their Alaska road trip, which they'll only make once this season and probably once for the next number of seasons. The Fairbanks Ice Dogs will be hosting them tonight at 10:30 p.m. Central Time. The puck drop scheduled from the Big Dipper Ice Arena this evening. The Minnesota Magicians, another team from the continental United States, in Alaska tonight, taking on the Kenai River Brown Bears again at 10:30 p.m. Central Time. Those of you who are curious and tuned into this game instead of the Astros Game 3, the series is tied up 1-1 against the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'll become an Astros fan for the next week or so. Living in Texas now, and the Dodgers beat my Cubs, so I've got to pick the Houston Astros to root for in their second ever World Series appearance. The other World Series appearance they made, they were back in the American League, the National League. Now they're in the American League, but back in 2005, when they were still a part of the National League Central, they played against another Chicago team. The White Sox were defeated by the White Sox, so lost their first ever World Series appearance. They're hoping to redeem themselves again. Right now that series is tied at 1 game apiece, with home field advantage favoring Houston from this point on. 3 of the next 5 games, if necessary, will be played at Minute Maid Ballpark in Houston, Texas. Right now there's no score in the middle of the second, and the Astros coming to the plate next. We'll try to keep you updated on the score of that game as this one progresses. For now, we're going to step aside one last time before second period action is brought your way. It's a 1-0 Amarillo score through the first 20 minutes here at the ACC. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be back in a few. All right, well, welcome back, everyone, and thanks again so much for joining us. IceRays Hockey and the IceRays Broadcast Network on HockeyTV.com and on YouTube tonight. Well, Corpus had managed to draw first blood in its first two meetings against Amarillo, but could not do so a third time. On their fourth shot tonight, the Bulls' Simon Morberg slung the puck past Jacob Acton to open the scoring from the top of the left circle. And making his IceRays debut, Acton responded effectively and kept the Bulls at bay for the remainder of the opening period. He made a strong lateral stop on a 2-on-1 rush, a timely poke check, as well as a point-blank save after a defensive zone breakdown. He certainly did his part to keep the IceRays within striking distance, but Jason Grande kept the Rays off the score sheet entirely in the opening 20 minutes, denying all 13 of the shots that were sent his direction. Second periods from a goal differential standpoint have been the IceRays' best this season. Having scored 8 times in the middle frame, have been scored against 9 times. And with their goal differential, actually one of the lowest in the NAHL, second to last, the IceRays' goal differential at -19. Another area that certainly needs to be improved as the season progresses, but with that said, second periods have been their best. The third periods have been their best from an offensive and pure scoring standpoint. We'll see what the Rays can do in the middle 20 minutes. They certainly stayed disciplined. And for those of you who remember, this first matchup of the season, the Rays had a season-high 8 penalties called against them. And including, ultimately, though this wasn't until the second game, the suspension against Brendan Miller, which, though it was a pretty questionable call, the Rays' discipline did suffer a little bit in that first weekend matchup between these sides. And fingers crossed, folks, the opening 20 minutes, they were extremely disciplined, not letting their frustrations mount or get the better of them at all. They stayed out of the penalty box for the entirety of that 20-minute span. Second period action underway here from the bullpen. The IceRays win the first faceoff of period 2. The pass from Acioli too far for C.J. Regula. And John Russell, the Harvard commit, sends it up to Colin Price. Price banks one, trying to angle it perfectly off the wall. Centering pass through the skates, hits Russell on the tape. And he steals it back and fires off the side of the net. That was a dribbler that just missed. Colin Price gets it, tries to shoot, score from behind the goal, and they score. Morberg with goal number 2 on the night. And this goal will stand. I could have sworn I heard a whistle shortly after the goal went in. Some of the folks here weren't sure, but it's going to be a good goal. Ultimately, what ended up happening there, folks, Colin Price got the puck in the left corner. He tried to score from behind the netminder, which is a tactic that, in my opinion, not enough scorers or players try to do. There's always a little bit of room on the inside of a goalie's pad. If you can shoot it off of that little area and angle it in off of him and into the back of the net, it works so much more often than you would think. And Colin Price had the right idea there, and though it didn't pay off immediately, it eventually did because it went behind Acton's back and found the goal scorer in front of the net, Simon Morberg, who just had a nose for the net in this game. Able to put one on the backhand and roof it over Acton's glove before he even knew what hit him. And it's Morberg with 2, the IceRays with nothing. 27 seconds into period 2, and that's not the start that Brad Flynn was hoping for. Blake Coffey slaps one off the sideboards. It ricochets off the referee and down. This can't be icing, and it's not, as it hit the referee. Halford pressuring Nick Fay. Puck is stolen from Halford and sent to Pelton in the right circle. Sends one into the front off the skate of St. Ange. Halford picks it up and backhands it off the side of the goal. Now off the back of the net, collected off the carom. St. Ange spins it up to the top. Wrist shot, doesn't get all the way through, and it slides over to the far side half boards. Mikhailian swings it up and down. Karams off the wall, right on net. Acton puts his glove on it and covers it up. Jacob Acton will be celebrating his 19th birthday tomorrow, October 28th. To give himself an early birthday present with a win in his IceRays debut. But if that's going to happen, the Rays have got to start putting pucks in the back of the net. Larry Youngworth hoping to squeeze past Bronson Adams. He eventually does and throws it past Matt Novo. It's held in the zone by Matt Acioli. Rimmed it around Novo, picked up again by Larry Youngworth, who wheels up towards the edge of the circle, bounces it up to Acioli, swung over to Steinacher. His shot didn't get through. Karams behind the net, picked up again by Youngworth. Turns it on goal, routine stop by Grande, and he hangs on to it. So tomorrow again is the Pink and the Reek night. Hockey Fights Cancer night here in Amarillo. They always do an outstanding job with that. We expect a pretty solid turnout here at the ACC. There always is on Pink and the Rink night. The IceRays with a big promotional game themselves coming up on Saturday, November 11th. On Veterans Day is their Stars and Stripes night. Free admission will be granted to all active and retired military members as well as first responders on Saturday, November 11th. Game 2 of their first home series they've had. It will have been over a month's time, well over. Puck deflects from Steinacher's stick into the IceRays bench. Again, that's Saturday, November 11th. Hope to see you out at the American Bank Center on Veterans Day for our Stars and Stripes night. Huge thank you to our sponsors for that night as well. First Title Company, Roto-Rooter, Whataburger, and Navy Federal Credit Union. A long shot from the left point is dealt with by the chest of Grande, who's made another stop and made it look easy. Novo gets it back to Acioli, collected by Chorney, who sends it up now to Abdelnauer on the right side. He's got a couple of men with him. He stops. Abdelnauer turns. Acioli in close quarters with him. Rex gets it. That's sent off the pad. Acton makes the save from the goal line shot, which we've seen a lot of already in this game. Acioli on the left wing lets it rip into the glove of Grande. Jason Grande on the season, coming into this game, had a .911 save percentage and a 4-2-0 record. That's been a tradition in this city over the years, much like in Corpus and almost every team in the South. Strong goaltending is not just, it's not really so much a luxury anymore as it is an expectation. A couple of Anton Martinson jerseys here in the crowd tonight. He was something of a legend in these parts 2 years ago. One of the best goaltenders to ever grace the Amarillo Bulls uniform. As a Wilhelm shot, Karams off the backboards, and Grande covers it up at the side of his net. Another tie-up off the face-off. Taken by Simon Moorberg, who could well be on his way to a hat trick tonight. John Russell met by a pair of IceRays down there in the corner. And AJ DeCesar being one of them, hoping to clear it out. Can't get it past Moorberg, who twisted it sharply in front, hoping for Price. Broken up. Russell back to Moorberg again. And the near corner turns. DeCesar pins him up to the wall. Colin Price picks it up. Assisted on the last goal. The Bulls scored. Warmouth can't hold it in the zone. Has to retreat out to center. He clears it into the protective netting. 3 minutes have gone by in the second. The Bulls have doubled their lead. It's 2-0. We just spoke of Anton Martinson, another alumni, one for the IceRays. Grant Hutton, I'm sure you saw on Facebook and Twitter, was just honored as the NCHC Defenseman of the Week. He had a really strong performance up at the University of Miami of Ohio for the Redhawks. He's an alternate captain there this season in his junior year. So Grant Hutton, an ex-IceRay, played in the Coastal Bend for 2 seasons. Had a really strong week. Big shout out to him. Lake Coffee gets it up to Angus Scott from the red line, able to work one past Bronson Adams and around the wall to Tama. Forces one up to Fay. He crisscrosses there with Stevens. Scott backhands it one-handed along the other direction by Bronson Adams again, and it's Fay. Getting over to Patema. Yanni hoping to close him off. Sends it oddly off a stanchion. Carams right to Coffey, who is cleared. Adams retreating to pick it up in his own corner. Miller missed him with the hip check. Yanni is, or rather Scott is hit by Patema. Peltonen will be first to that puck after it rolled loose. He turns. Peltonen left half board, sent it off of a Bulls skate, and here comes Amarillo in transition, Alex Peterson. Peterson with an impressive start to his season, 8 points in his first 9 games, playing in his first game back after a pretty substantial injury, sidelined him for a couple of weeks. Marcus Chorney, Shattuck St. Mary's product with an NHL brother playing for the Washington Capitals. Taylor Chorney, who played last night. His team was smoked by the Vancouver Canucks. 6-1 was the score last time I saw it on the bus ride up here. Swanson met by Steinacher. Retrieving the puck in his own zone, the alternate captain, Matt Acioli, with a bit of a head fake and a shoulder shimmy, reverses it to Steinacher. 6'7" Czech defenseman can't clear it past Alex Truscott, and the Bulls captain turning, hoping to feather it below the goal line. Picked off by Steinacher. Now here comes Peltonen, gains the zone, dropped it for Riley St-Onge, who missed the net on the right side with that weak wrister. Acioli reverses it out of Peltonen. Good little stick check there, but the Bulls are still in some danger here. The IceRays going to work for their longest offensive zone shift of the period, cycling it along the boards and behind the net. Looks like the Rays are getting a bit fatigued themselves, having spent so much time in the offensive zone. And here comes Amarillo on a one-on-one. Weak wrist shot through a bit of a screen, kicking out the right pad, making the stop Jake Acton to stop Brunchot. Peltonen guides one off the glass and out just past his own blue line. Swanson from center. Serpentine-like motion as he gained the entry into the IceRays zone, but that said motion is what led to an offside. The offside is brought to you by Adliance. 14:18 to play in the second period. It's a 2-0 Amarillo lead. Jason Grande perfect in net for Austin Sutter, David Nees, Harry Mahood, and the Bulls. I don't want to say it's a coaching bonanza on the bench this weekend, but bit of a mishmash, we'll call it. Here's Novo with a shot off the right post, and that stays out. And he had a really good opportunity there from inside the right circle. The Bulls have just iced the puck. Best scoring chance of the period for Corpus Christi. But as we were saying, with Rocky Russo's absence, Harry Mahood was brought back. He had not coached here in years, and he returns to help out David Nees, who's in his first season as an assistant. The video coach last season in the ECHL. Austin Sutter, who's the last remaining coach from last season, after the organization sort of cleared house a little bit with the coaching staff. After 2 consecutive losing seasons, the Bulls hoping to rebuild in Rocky Russo. From what I've been told, it's been a pretty good upsurge here, not just in the team's performance, but also in attendance and the buzz and the hype about town. Larry Youngworth stops from the left point, hoping to feather it over to Blake Coffey. The Bulls made sure that pass never reached the dangerous defenseman for the IceRays. Youngworth will settle the puck down and clear it into the zone. Grande stops it behind his net. Mikhailian takes over. Bud Winter on the forecheck. Nice stick there by Havrila, but it pops. Takes an Amarillo bounce. It rolls to Abdelnauer now on the left wing side, going wide on Coffey. Carries all the way over to the other corner and he's trying to cycle it down there. He's got Morberg right behind him. Roof chipped it past Bronson Adams, and the 23s pursue it in the right corner in the Amarillo zone. Met first by the 23 in red. 4 players wrapped up. The IceRays win that battle for now, but it's cleared over the head of Coffey and down. This should go far enough. Coffey's got to hurry. Icing is called against Amarillo. The speedy John Russell right behind Coffey, really making him work for that icing. That icing brought to you by Hard Knocks Bar and Grill. We've got 12:48 to play in the second. The Bulls have scored a goal in each period, both of them off the same player's stick. Simon Morberg with his 3rd and 4th goal as an Amarillo Bull here tonight. Down there by Abdelnauer, who swings it into the neutral zone, picked up by Russell, who's onside. He shoots, and it missed well wide of the glove side. Or rather, the blocker side, it looked like, of Acton. It had so much zip to it, I couldn't even tell. John Russell with a bit of an interesting route he took through junior hockey. Played 2 seasons ago for the Odessa Jackalopes, then went up to the BCHL, played a season there. Now he's back in the NAHL South, presumably in his last season of junior hockey before heading out to Harvard next year. What's going to be handled and cradled by Jason Grande. John also had a brother, Marcus Russell, last season's leading scorer for the Topeka Roadrunners before he was called up to the Muskegon Lumberjacks of the USHL. Finished his season there. And Regula with a bit of a jump on that faceoff. He's being told to leave the circle by Gorkoff, the linesman. Angus Scott will have to take his place. Regula's not happy about the decision. And a much less experienced faceoff man, and Angus Scott couldn't get the job done, but it stays in the attacking zone. Scott trying to cycle and wheel it towards the net was broken up, and the Bulls get it out. Nice little backhand feed, and the pass off of that, or the shot off of that pass rather, was blocked by an IceRays stick, and it goes out of play. 12:13 to go in the second, 2-0 in favor of Amarillo. Moorburg with both of their tallies in this one. Jacob Acton lines up, as do the IceRays, to take a defensive zone draw. This time Regula gets to stay in, but Stuckland won it. Steinacher kicked it up to his stick. Fay on the forecheck, pried it free. It's loose in the low slot between the hashes, and Jimmy Desai into the right corner. Alex Peterson is crunched by Steinacher. Fay picks it up, turns it towards the net, patted away by Jacob Acton. Puck is backhanded off the side of the goal. Somehow it bounces all the way up to Sokolov, manning the blue line. And the 6'5" Russian hustles over, showing deceptively good speed. Pops over his glove, and here come the Rays on a 3-on-1. Miller down his off wing on the right side, holds on right circle, gives it across, and it was in the air. It couldn't be settled there by Regula, who has to twist, and the Bulls now on the counterattack on a 2-on-2. Struckless, he's got Fay with him. Struckless' shot, sticked away by Acton. Fay's shot deflected dangerously by A.J. DeCesar, playing in his first NAHL game. Takes a hit by Stuckless, who's going to head to the Amarillo sin bin for that late hit. Roughing against the Canadian forward. A.J. DeCesar with a, I'm not going to call it a rookie mistake necessarily, but putting his stick in way of that shot. It was a weak shot, and Acton clearly going to be able to handle it. It was not going to cause any problems for it, but because A.J. DeCesar put his stick in the way there, it almost deflected past Acton. I think the IceRays caught a break because it went off the side of the net. He had his mind was in the right place there, A.J. DeCesar, making his IceRays debut, trying to keep the shot from getting to his goaltender, but oftentimes, if you don't block it completely, it actually makes life more difficult on your netminder, and that's just one of those things that he'll learn as his NAHL career progresses. The IceRays back to the power play. The good news is DeCesar did manage to draw a penalty for roughing, as Novo walks the blue line and dishes to Trevor Wilhelm at the right circle. Feeds it to the goal line. It's sent up to Novo in the slot, who fires over the crossbar. And the Bulls have cleared it past Wilhelm and down. This IceRays power play is presented by AEP Texas, 0 for 1 on the night, and has really struggled of late. But here comes Peltonen driving in, shooting, and Grande makes a chest save. Angus Scott goes tumbling into the end wall, and a big scuffle, the biggest of this game we're seeing right now, transpiring behind a dislodged Amarillo net. We'll see if there's any disciplinary action handed out to any of those wrongdoers after that. Been pretty well behaved, all things considered, to start this game, but as is only natural, it started to heat up slowly but surely as it's gone along. Any players being sent to the box. Maybe Angus Scott. Looks like it will be offsetting roughing Miners against Scott and against Truscott. Oh, the timekeeper showed me Matt Acioli's number. Acioli's on the IceRays bench, so there's a mistake on somebody's part here. And it was just corrected. Okay, so Scott and Truscott both being sent to the box for roughing, offsetting. So 10:37 to play in period 2. It's a 2-0 Amarillo lead. The IceRays still have 1 minute and 17 seconds to work this AEP Texas power play, hoping to redeem itself after falling short earlier, though looked like it probably should have had a goal on that last man advantage. Blake Coffey up to Pavel Koreshkov. Just one times it into the Bulls zone, takes a heavy bounce off the boards. Too heavy for the IceRays liking. It took an Amarillo bounce and they're out to center as a result. Coffey's going to reset things in his own zone. Koreshkov hoping to return it to Blake. He finally does after it was blocked initially by an Amarillo stick. And again, the Bulls have wasted no time clearing it down the length of the ice as it hobbles off the side of the net. Acton will play it to Coffey. He reverses it. Here's Yanni. Youngworth fires it around the wall, hoping Coffey can get there first, and he does. He seals the board so the Bulls can't clear it a third straight time that direction. They managed to squeak it past him, not far enough to reach Yanni. Rex clears it past Yanni and down below the goal line. Acton sends it around to the other side. Time winding down on this power play. Just about 10 seconds to go on it. The IceRays really didn't manage anything on this man advantage. Ball to 0 for 2 on the night. Bulls have not yet gone to a power play themselves as they return to full strength. Agula blocking away the shot or the pass, couldn't tell which it was. Roof sends it ahead to Yanni. He's got some room with Coffey and Roof, but they were both in the same spot at the same time. Some confusion there as a result. In the meantime, it's Yanni teeing it up and slap passing one through the slot. Coffey with a bullet on net. Roof with the rebound. Grande with both saves. And the Bulls making sure that Roof is kept away from their precious netminder, who's had a really strong performance, making all 18 saves that he's been asked to make so far tonight. Marcus Chorney's got Bud Winter by the jersey. Finally, he lets him go. And this is a line that we haven't seen put together yet, so some experimentation being done by Brad Flynn. Noah Roof, Mattis Haverla, and Bud Winter. Normally it's DeMizio on that line somewhere, but tonight he's a healthy scratch. 8:50 to play in the second period. Amarillo leading 2-0, shots even at 18 apiece. We're going to step aside here from the ACC for a 30-second commercial timeout. Be right back, folks.
Of your IceRays. The best of the best award winner 7 years in a row provides diagnostic imaging services in a caring, comforting environment with leading-edge imaging technology. Extensive expertise in medical imaging allows them to not only give physicians and patients the very best in service and care, but your IceRays as well. So the next time you need imaging done, call Radiology and Imaging at 853-4503. That's 853-4503.
So an interesting call stemming from that little debacle. Bud Winter was given a 2-minute minor for roughing, but the Bulls were not given anything. And roughing penalties, sometimes it's given to whoever instigates, but more often than not, extremely more often than not, it's roughing. I mean, those are just, it takes two to tango, and there were certainly at least two plus in there tangoing. There probably should have been multiple penalties handed out. Not sure why this isn't offsetting. I guess there was something Bud Winter did to Marcus Chorney that was excessive, but to me it looked like Chorney had a good hold of Bud. Instead, it's Winter in the box, and Chorney is out there for this first Amarillo power play of the game. And he can really bring it. Watch out for number 5 in white on this Amarillo power play. This IceRays penalty kill is brought to you by Republic Services, and the Bulls go to work on their first man advantage of the game. Chorney Left point to McKylian in the deep slot. To Stephen Rex, the right circle. And it's taken by Alex Peterson, who sets up McKylian, tees it up and sets up Chorney, left circle, who lets it rip. And square to that shot, Jacob Acton making the save. Acton, 18 of 20 tonight. There's an even 900 save percentage. So far for one side, Brad Flynn's rule of thumb has come true. For the other, it has not. It's not an exact science, we understand that, but normally he's right. You get 10 shots on net, normally the average will be 1 goal out of it. But tonight, Jason Grande has been perfect. Marcus Chorney put it off the stick of Peterson. Yanni hoping to clear. Fay closes him off. Russell's down there as well. Chorney creeping down all the way right in front of the goalie. Then he backs off a little bit. Finally, they move it. The Bulls get it up to McKylian, who takes a wrist shot through lots of traffic. Yanni blocked it inadvertently. Gets partially tripped up. Chorney up to McKylian. Back to Chorney, left circle. Fires. Blockered away by Jacob Acton. Didn't need to touch it, but he did. Just to ensure that it went wide. McFay got Russell in the slot. Goes to the goal line. Step attempt there from Peterson. And Acton had the paddle down, made the stop. Fay cycles it to Peterson again. Chorney creeping in the left circle, back door. He gets the pass. Chorney with another shot off the post. And it swung up to the top. The Bulls still have it in the attacking zone. It has not left since this power play has started. Chorney creeps down the left wall. Angles one off the backboards, and it's taken by Fay. Nick Fay sets up Russell, whose one-timer is dealt with by Acton. Finally, Regula marches out with a rolling puck, which he tries to settle down. And drive it in on Brendan McKylian, who closed him off into the corner boards, and the Bulls get it out. Colin Price tipped it as far as Wilhelm, who takes over for the Rays. Wilhelm slings it down the ice. Grande spins it back and around behind the net. Chorney picks it up and gives it to McKylian. 7 minutes to go in period 2. It's a 2-0 Amarillo lead. Colin Price gets the breakout pass and starts in over the IceRays blue line with a lot of room. Shoots, chest save by Acton. That shot from Colin Price coming from the left circle. Colin Price with 4 goals this season. Oh, John Russell leading the NAHL with 10 in just 11 games. He's had a lot of ice time, obviously, in this contest. He's been kept off the goal scoring sheet tonight so far. Long wrist shot save, rebound, Acton scrambling, and it's taken behind the net and centered. Broken up now by St. Ange. And the IceRays have killed off their first penalty of this game, but are going to be sent right to the box, or perhaps it will be Amarillo. There was a hook. Swanson went down. And who's going to be the culprit here, I wonder? The signal is that it's against Amarillo. So it was Swanson who went down. And Jason Brancho going to head to the Amarillo sin bin. The IceRays back to the power play for the 3rd time tonight. Hooking called against Brancho. Thus far, special teams have not been a factor in any way. The IceRays are going to hope to change that in their 3rd AEP Texas power play of the evening. And one of the differences already that we've seen, it took the IceRays about a minute and a half to clear the puck out of their own zone on that last Bulls power play. It took the Bulls about 3 seconds. It's just another reason why faceoffs are so important. What you do on faceoffs, even more important. It's not just a one-person job. It's not only the job of the center, it's the job of the wingers. The puck is turned over, a shorthanded chance for the Bulls, sent into the front. Abdelnauer's backhand shot was broken up by Wilhelm, who blocked it. Crisis averted for the IceRays, and here they come. Alexei Peltonen weaving across the deep slot, dropping it. Riley St. Ange up to Wilhelm, who lets it rip. Blocked. Novo picks it up. Now to Miller. Will bounce one to Peltonen. Alexei Peltonen setting up shop along the right half wall. Couldn't feed it through, and Warmoth clears it with ease. IceRays power play is about halfway through. The Bulls leading them 2-0 with 5.5 to play in period 2. 24-20 your shots in favor of Amarillo. Wilhelm starts the breakout for Corpus Christi. Larry Youngworth from the red line. Lobs it in on net. Jason Grande with some leather flashing makes the glove snag. Scott with some good work off that faceoff. He went tumbling after making the pass back, but it was a really important play because the IceRays can set things up now. Swung down to Angus Scott. He's got a turn. Warmoth and McKylian closing him off. Youngworth gets it in the left circle, drives to the front of the net. Weak shot, rolls slowly on net, threw off Grande, but still managed to make the save. Not sure Youngworth intended to do what he just did there. It was a changeup from point blank range, which almost never happens. Must have been partially blocked or something. Change pace that much. Grande able to locate it in time. Bulls get it right out after the draw. John Russell defended by Yanni nicely. He's got some good speed. Reverses it to Struckless. Yanni picks it up in his own zone. Just a dozen seconds to play on their power play. Yanni from the red line throws it a good 50 feet in the air, bounces off the boards. Angus Scott goes crashing into the end wall. Chorney met him there. Yanni sends it over to Coffey with tons of room. Slap shot well wide. And the Bulls get it out with no harm done. Murtazan hopped off the bench to replace the Amarillo Bulls player who just ended the penalty. 4.5 to play in the second. 2-0 Amarillo. And Marcus Chorney has it behind his own goal. Chorney up to Stephen Rex. He's checked by Havrila. 4 players digging down there right between the penalty boxes. Rex able to move it from his skates. Murtazan back to Rex. Slapped into the right corner in the IceRays zone ultimately. Acioli there to fetch it. High in the air and down. Bronson Adams on his backhand gets it off the glass and out to center. Rex working 1 versus 1 against Matt Acioli with a one-handed backhand shot that was stopped easily by Acton. Stuckless to Warmoth. Warmoth lobs one down and behind the net. The puck is thrown out in front, easily picked off by Roof. There were no white sweaters near him. Roof will go in after his own dump in. Rex is met by Steinacher. The puck is chipped past Havrila and out to the red line. Acioli hoping to jimmy it back the other direction, but Rex has it again. Steinacher. Right in front of the Bulls bench. Murtazan lost it to Bud Winters for check. McKylian with the D-to-D pass with 3 minutes to play in the second. 2-0 Bulls. Lobbed off the left corner, a bit of a dangerous pass there from Acton. Fortunately for him, there was nobody in front. Here comes Peltonen wide open on a breakaway. Deeks to the forehand, slamming the door shut. There was Jason Grande, who makes his biggest save of the game. Well, Alexei Peltonen was just caught cherry-picking behind everybody, and the pass found him. He tried to go 5-hole, and Grande shut the door. Peltonen stays out there, lines up to take the offensive zone draw. Both teams 0 on the power play tonight. The Rays have failed 3 times. The Bulls have failed just once. Bronson Adams shovels it out of his own zone just past the blue line. Here comes Truscott with Swanson in close pursuit right behind him. He gets the drop pass. Swanson hangs on, shoots, chest save by Jake Acton. He'll take a whistle and no further play. A.J. DeCesar getting a little bit mucky down there, trying to protect his goaltender, his fellow debuter tonight. 2 players on either side playing in their first ever game for their respective teams. And for the IceRays, it's A.J. DeCesar and Jake Acton. For the Bulls, it's Brendan DeTema and Nick Stuckless. Alford can't chip it past Sokolov. Coffey could. Gets it as far as Chorney at center. Over the blue line there. Moorberg comes down the right side with Yanni taking away the passing angles. Moorberg did well to set up Sokolov. Left point D-to-D for Chorney. Long wobbler that missed the net. Russell cycling it. Price has it. Up to Chorney. Hobbled over his stick. Going to go all the way down on net. Grande's got to make a play. He does. He lifted over the stick and down into Coffey's wheelhouse. Bulls settle things down out at center. Moorberg has to turn away from Regula. Chorney gets crushed as he was brought down by Regula. He gets back right onto his skates. Sokolov takes over at center. Chorney heads to the Bulls bench. Here comes another breakaway. Riley St. Ange after the steal, fires. Glove snag. That was a hard, heavy wrist shot by Riley St. Ange, but it was right into the glove of Jason Grande. Well, this is the second time this game we've seen Regula booted out of the faceoff circle. Update on the Astros game. Here's some good news for you folks down in Corpus Christi. The Astros leading the Dodgers 4-1 at Minute Maid Park. A huge second inning. The Dodgers did respond with one run of their own at the top of the third, but the Astros with a commanding 4-1 lead at Minute Maid Park. Miller wipes out upon entering the zone. Here comes Amarillo. They've got a 3-on-2. Peterson into the zone, stops, cuts into the slot, lost the puck. Well, it swung to Fay. Fay will shovel it up to Mikhailian. Sends it over to Warmoth. Long wrist shot, blocked. Peterson's backhander off the side of the net. Wilhelm's wrapped up, can't do anything. Stuckless picks it up after the puck was still loose down there. Mikhailian's long bid, easily sticked aside by Acton into a vacant corner, which is now occupied. The Bulls going to work, trying to add to their already 2-goal lead. Mikhailian will slap it wide of the net. Karam's off the backboards, and Miller goes in after it. CJ Regula motors out with it. He's got 25 seconds to make something happen before this period comes to an end. Weaves to the outside. Takes it all the way in behind the net. Regula pushed down to the ice. Sent back to Yanni, long drive. Missed the right post. Steinacher at the left point. I just send it down to CJ Regula. Kicked over towards Novo. Broken up. Steinacher will hold this puck in the zone with ease. And shovel one behind the net where he's hoping for Novo, but instead it's taken by Amarillo. They've cleared it. And so ends period 2. Well, now 40 minutes are in the books, and the IceRays face an even greater deficit than they did after the first 20 had concluded. It's 2-0 at the end of 2 here at the Amarillo Civic Center. The only goal that came in this period came just 27 seconds into it, and it came off the stick of Simon Moorberg, who's got both of Amarillo's tallies tonight. The first one was just an absolute rocket from the top of the left circle. The next was a pretty confusing play. Acton, I'm sure, had no clue where that puck was when it was backhanded over his glove. But essentially what happened was Amarillo's top scoring line with John Russell, Colin Price, and Simon Moorberg, obviously, just going to work in behind the goal line. Russell sent it to Colin Price in the right corner, and Price with a lot of room, probably too much considering how close he was to Acton, had plenty of time to take a look, and he decided to try to shoot it off of the backside of Acton and sort of pinball it into the net. And while that didn't work, it did lead to the goal. He went behind Acton's back, right out in front, and Moorberg was there to pick it up in the low slot and backhand it over Acton's glove to give the Bulls a 2-0 lead. And here we stand again. 40 minutes have gone by. Moorberg with both of Amarillo's tallies, and the IceRays face yet another deficit heading into period 3. We'll see if their offensive outbursts in period 3 continue here in the next 20 minutes. That's all the time the IceRays are going to have to beat a red-hot goaltender in Jason Grande, who's a perfect 24 of 24, and they've got to beat him twice in the final 20. They've scored 15 third-period goals in 14 games this season. Can they score 2 in the next? We'll find out. In the meantime, we're going to step aside here from the ACC. Got some things to take care of. When we come back, we'll have your Janet's Cakery out-of-town scoreboard and more right after this. right, folks, well, welcome back. Sorry for that brief delay. It's a 2-0 score in favor of Amarillo here at the ACC. A borderline dominant second period there for the Bulls, who outshot the Rays 20-11. Really right from the start, it was the Bulls who had control and were in the driver's seat of that middle 20-minute frame. It only took 27 seconds after the puck dropped before Amarillo doubled their lead. Simon Moorberg with his second goal of the game, assisted again by Colin Price, who's got 2 assists tonight, though the secondary came from John Russell, who tacked on his first assist of the game. Russell with a huge discrepancy between goals and assists. I'm not sure I've ever seen somebody have 5 times as many goals as they've had assists, but that's just the sort of player he is, I guess. He's definitely a sniper. He's got 10 goals, and now that was just his 3rd assist on the season, John Russell. So normally, if anything, it's the other way around. Assists are easier to come by than goals because there are 2 assists on most goals, but Russell has just sort of taken that stereotype and flipped it around. But second period, it was really all Amarillo, folks. Even though the Rays had 2 power plays, the Bulls just had 1. It was the quality of that power play compared to what the Rays had. Their first power play the IceRays had was pretty good in the first period, but in the second, it was almost, could hardly tell that they were on the power play, aside from the fact that the Bulls kept icing the puck and getting away with it because they were shorthanded. If it wasn't for that, you wouldn't even be able to tell, because really the offensive zone surges and the pressure was not there for the Rays on the man advantage. They never really forced Grande to work. They managed 11 shots on net in the second period, which in this rink is not going to be good enough, and Brad Flynn understands that. The Rays are going to have to come out with a huge third period because they do not want to lose 3 games in a row, especially already being in the basement in the South Division right now. 2 points outside of 5th place. The IceRays are in last with a 4-8-2 record, and they're hoping to turn things around sooner rather than later, but it's been a difficult start for Corpus Christi this season, and obviously a lot of that can be attributed to the fact that, well, they've been on the road so much that almost every single one of their games, they've had 2 home games now, and we're a quarter of the way through the season. Frankly, it's a little bit ridiculous the way the schedule is set up, and it's not even done yet. They still have to play 4 more road games before they finally get to go home again, and after that, it's not like there's a huge home streak. There won't be one until February, so it's a schedule that's not particularly friendly to the IceRays, but they can't look to that as an excuse. They haven't been clicking offensively, especially at the start of games. Normally, teams average about, a little bit less than a goal per period, and in the first periods this season, the IceRays have now played 15 of them, and they've only scored 6 times. Second periods, not a whole lot better. They've really only managed to string some goals together in third periods this season, and by then, oftentimes, it's too late. That could be the case tonight. It might not be. They've certainly faced bigger deficits than this and have come back from them. But, first of all, they've got a hot goaltender to beat, and second, they've got to find a way to start clicking offensively. There haven't been a whole lot of successive passes that they've been able to string together and generate some really threatening offensive scoring opportunities so far. We'll see what the coaches have up their sleeves to bring us for period 3, but in the meantime, let's take a look at our out-of-town scoreboard update. Again, this game is 2-0 in favor of Amarillo, with both goals coming from the same man, Simon Moorberg, with 40 in the books. 40 also in the books in Springfield tonight, and the Junior Blues are beating the Topeka Roadrunners 2-0, so that's good news for the IceRays, who are hoping to catch the Roadrunners in the standings right now. Ethan Stewart and Gio Carabelli, the former Mudbug, with goals for the Springfield Junior Blues. Brookings Blizzard with a 2-1 edge over the Austin Bruins tonight at the Larson Ice Center in Brookings, South Dakota. Aberdeen hosting Minnesota as well, and they've come from behind and scored 2 unanswered goals to take their first lead of that game. They lead 3-2 now, up on home ice, with time winding down in the second period. The Northeast Generals with a 1-0 edge over the New Jersey Titans about halfway through regulation time. That game looks like it might have been delayed. Normally those East Coast games are about an hour or so ahead of where we are because of the time difference, but that one just happens to be behind us right now. The Lone Star Brahmas and the Odessa Jackalopes tied up with no score with 8 minutes remaining in period 2. The Jacks have shown promise in their start to the season so far. We're hoping to keep a pretty good surge going against the defending champions at Nitex. Minot Minotauros hosting the Bismarck Bobcats, 1-1 the score, about halfway through regulation in the Mesa Ice Arena in Minot tonight. Fairbanks and Shreveport, Kenai and Minnesota, the Magicians that is, they will start at 10:30 p.m. Central Time. That wraps up your Janet's Cakery out-of-town scoreboard update. Again, this game 2-0 in favor of Amarillo, and the IceRays are going to have to score at least twice in the next 20 minutes if they want to avoid dropping a third straight without getting so much as a point in the standings. And the longer that goes on, the further the IceRays will fall into the abyss that can be the South Division. It's though it is a very competitive division, the teams are pretty closely spaced. But like we've said several times, every game from this point on is against a South Division rival, which means for every game the IceRays miss out on points, somebody else is getting them and separating themselves even further. As it is, the Rays right now 11 points behind Shreveport for first place, 7 points behind Lone Star and Odessa, who are tied for second. And the Bulls and the Topeka Roadrunners, a much more realistic target for the IceRays to catch, though Amarillo just had its off weekend. So they've got 3 games in hand. And I know it's extremely early, but when it comes down to it, folks, at the end of the season, every single point makes a difference in the standings. That's just how competitive the league is today. And just cannot afford to miss out on these points early in the season, because once it gets down the stretch and there are several teams that need every single point available in the playoff race, they're going to be bringing their all every night. And obviously it's easier said than done, but being on the outside looking in down the stretch is not a place the IceRays want to be. They've got to start turning things around. We'll see if they can do it in period 3. In the meantime, we're going to step aside from here at the ACC. We'll be back to bring you third period action right after these messages. Stay with us, folks. Available in the playoff race, they're going to be bringing their all every night. Obviously, it's easier said than done, but being on the outside looking in down the stretch is not a place the IceRays want to be. They've got to start turning things around. We'll see if they can do it in period 3. In the meantime, we're going to step aside from here at the ACC. We'll be back to bring you third period action right after these messages. Stay with us, folks.
Janet's Cakery is a local retail bakery that has been in business for 25 years. They provide customers with moist, delicious cakes for all occasions, plus pies, cheesecakes, pastries, balloons, candles, and ornaments for all cakes. Give Janet's Cakery a call at 991-6212 or visit them online at janetscakery.com. Janet's Cakery opens 7 days a week. That's 991-6212.
The home service leader in South Texas, at home or at the office with affordable prices. Want more than just your windows cleaned? Check out the Window Genie Big 3, offering window cleaning as well as window tinting and pressure washing. Window Genie is also your year-round solution for cleaning those pesky gutters. Call for an estimate at 361-792-3554. That's 361-792-3554. And let the power of the Genie work for you. The home service. The Thrifty Nickel is home of the Guaranteed to Sell classified ads, covering all Corpus Christi communities within a 75-mile radius. Place your personal classified with us, and if it hasn't sold in 4 weeks, we'll run it for free until it sells. Visit us in the Gulfway Shopping Center, or give us a call at 361-980-0008, or online at cc.thriftynickel.com. Thrifty Nickel, nationwide coverage with hometown service.
Overall fitness. Then train with the Solutions. Former IceRays playing sessions. Sports Fitness Solutions can help you lose weight, increase energy, build muscle, and get you feeling better today. Call Fitness Solutions today at 774-0874. That's 774-0874. And train like the IceRays do. Sendera Bay Point, located on Enos Jocelyn Road, Sendera Bay Point is newly renovated with upgraded units featuring granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, and designer lighting. Enjoy an on-site masseuse, waterfront yoga classes, water aerobics, fitness boot camps, poolside towel service, Saturday morning homemade resident breakfast, and of course, stunning bay views. Visit SenderaBayPoint.com for more details. Mention this ad for a waived application fee. That's SenderaBayPoint.com. Imaging Center of your IceRays. The best of the best award winner 7 years in a row provides diagnostic imaging services in a caring, comforting patient environment with edge imaging technology. Their extensive expertise in medical imaging allows them to not only give physicians and patients the very best in service and care, but your IceRays as well. So the next time you need imaging done, call Radiology and Imaging at 853-4503. That's 853-4503. Apartments offer its residents a prime location that leaves you minutes away from shopping, entertainment, restaurants, and beaches. Residents will discover a life of splendor with 2 pools, a workout facility, outdoor grilling needs, along with comfortable apartments located just minutes from Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Island Villa Apartments are located off SBID and Nile Drive. Call Island Villa Apartments today at 994-1630 and set up your personal tour. 994-1630. Island Villa Apartments.
GraphicsSite.com. The mission to make your vehicle wraps and graphics the biggest, brightest, and the best in the Coastal Bend. Gulf Coast Graphics has been right here in the Coastal Bend since 1987, wrapping, designing, and producing some of the hottest graphics between here and those other 2 coasts. Gulf Coast Graphics is the industry leader and the only Feller certified wrap shop in the Coastal Bend. You might even say we're Rapalicious. Gulf Coast Graphics has the best graphics designers, the best installers, the most cutting-edge equipment in the industry, and the most innovative and creative staff around. So when you want your business to stand out, the website, GulfCoastGraphicsSite.com. The mission to make your vehicle wraps and graphics the biggest, the brightest, and the best in the Coastal Bend. Gulf Coast Graphics wraps, make signs, stickers, banners, vehicle magnets, and t-shirts too. Go on, we dare you to stand out in the marketplace. Call the Wrap Masters at Gulf Coast Graphics. Call 854-0213, 854-0213.
Get Air is Corpus Christi's newest place for fun. 30,000 square feet of trampoline park with foam pits, slam ball, a ninja court, and dodgeball. A place to let your inner spirit soar. Show you've got game. Harness your inner ninja and burn up the competition. For parties from 5 to 500, kids, corporate, and adult team building, it's the #1 place for fun in Corpus Christi. Get out. Get active. Get Air. 4701 South Staple Street in Corpus Christi.
Business with cell phones?
We're unable to take your call at the moment. Please leave your name, number, and a brief
When time is money and the message is urgent, you need two-way radio.
Unit 5, return to yard immediately.
Safe, reliable, distracted, driver-legal two-way radio from A&B Communications with built-in fleet tracking.
Units 14 and 22, this is Unit 5 at well site 108.
Hand units, vehicle-mounted base stations, fleet tracking, on-site or wide-area communications for business. Online at abcom.net. That's abcomm.net. When you need to
Talk business.
All right, well, welcome back, folks. Boy, the Rays have a bit of a mountain to climb here in period 3. It's not quite as daunting as it might look. 2 goals doesn't seem like it should be too much of a problem, but the way that Jason Grande has played, there just doesn't seem to be any way of getting one past him. That is, of course, unless the Rays find a way to get shots on net without him seeing them. Normally that's just sort of the prototypical way of beating a hot goaltender like this. I'm sure that's one of the things that Brad Flynn and Ryan Anderson discussed with the guys in between periods 2 and 3. We're back underway here at the ACC, the final 20 minutes of this game number 1 of 2. Game number 7 of 10, and the IceRays' longest road stretch in junior franchise history will be 70% of the way through after the next 20 minutes of play. Coffey sends it up to Youngworth, who can't get it out. The puck was fired over Russell's stick. It would have been a high stick had he played it. The Rays clear it out. Marcus Chorney backpedaling in his own zone. Sends it out to center safely. Misfired to Price. Grande will leave it for Chorney now, and he takes over behind his own goal. Marcus Chorney to Nikita Sokolov. It's jabbed further by Simon Morberg, and the Swedish winger looked like might have interfered with Gorkov, the linesman, who went tumbling. Steinacher pushed it up to Korshkov, can't clear it. And Stuckless bounces one in behind the IceRays goal. He will backhand it up to Warmoth. That's a long shot go. It was blocked by Pavel Korshkov. Stuckless colliding with Youngworth. Meanwhile, here comes Acioli dropping it. Wrist shot snagged by Grande. It'll take away the upper 90 of the net. Matt Novo was aiming for that short side corner. Grande again equal to the challenge. Got a 25 save shutout going, does the Bulls goaltender. Clean face-off win by Peltonen. But the puck is fired off the protective netting after it took a deflection. Halford, the one taking the shot from the outside of the right circle. Had a really strong showing, Garrett Halford, a few weeks ago when he played in this building last time in front of his family members who made the trip over here from Dallas. Peltonen with a clean offensive zone win. Halford wires one wide of the blocker side post. Wilhelm holding the puck in the zone. Sends it over to the left corner. The Bulls can't clear it. It's jimmied up to Halford. Squirts past him. The Bulls on a 3-on-2 developing. A couple of passes back and forth. They get it back to the blue line, and a long left point shot is dealt with by Acton. Swanson lost it. Halford with a jab one up. Bronson Adams slapping it back in off the right corner. Boy, look at this. Puck is turned over and a backhand shot goes wide of the post. And Acton is down on the butterfly trying to take away the lower side of the net. He makes the save. And this whooping here in this section right below the broadcast the press box might be a little bit excessive here. Finally, they call it quits. That was getting a little bit distracting. And no surprise here. This section is the one that won the loudest section in the building. That doesn't surprise me one bit. Brendan Miller lets it go past him. Blake Coffey hoping to send one over onto the right side. It was read and broken up. Never ended up getting to Angus Scott. Connor Yanni pursued by Stephen Rex. Regula with Yanni's help. It goes off the back of the net. Abdelnauer there to intercept it for Amarillo. IceRays with a few tired skaters, it looks like, and the long shot goes wide of the net. It's taken by Stephen Rex. We get a whistle and a stoppage because the right peg popped off of its mooring. The 2.5 minutes have gone by in the third. The Bulls with a 32-25 edge in shots and a 2-0 lead. After that second period, that was probably the most dominant period the Bulls have had against the IceRays this season. They nearly doubled them in shots and came out of the gates flying, scoring just 27 seconds into that second period. The Rays have yet to respond. So Yanni for Coffey, and Coffey up to Scott. Scott has to turn. He was knocked down to the ice there by Simon Morberg. Regula punches it up to Miller, kicks it up to his stick. Miller cutting in over the Bulls logo, got it into the Amarillo zone. Chorney intercepting. Sokolov back to Chorney. To pass the forechecker and Scott. It went off of the referee, Lindner. Well, Sokolov gets the pass. Good composure there by Chorney after his clearing attempt went off the referee. He didn't get too frustrated. He stayed with it. Strange looking whiff. Chorney again making a fine defensive play and popping one into the left corner. There's an ice ray down. Steinacher behind his own net with Sokolov there as well. The two of them together average 6'6" in height. The puck is settled down in the neutral zone by Colin Price, and motoring in with it, Marcus Russell, who ran into Aizioli. Moorberg feeding it over the blue line. McKiley, the defenseman, leading the rush and whistling it wide of the glove side. Acton never had to play it. Warmouth has to double back. And the linesman Gorkov saying that puck was played with a high stick, which is why we had that whistle. Hope you can tune in tomorrow night, folks. The IceRays will play their 8th game of this 10-game road stretch tomorrow night. Same time, same place, 7:05 p.m. Central Time. The scheduled puck drop here at the Amarillo Civic Center. Wilhelm with a long screen shot went wide, and Novo hoping to carry it off of that bounce and knock it into the net. Couldn't do it. Here comes Fay. Stops and holds on. Throws it to the trailer. Misfired. McKiley lets it rip over the top of the crossbar, and Warmouth keeps it in the zone at the right point. Puts it behind the net. It's taken by Alex Peterson, who waits patiently with it. Peterson weaving up the circle. Met by Matt Novo, who takes off with it now. Youngworth was brought down behind the play. Nothing will be called. Novo with a nice backhand pass. Caesar shovels one into Bulls territory. McKiley takes a hit from Novo on the forecheck. It's wobbled up to the blue line, held in the zone, says the linesman by Connor Yanni. And not sure what that whistle was for. The linesman said it was a good keep. I guess they're calling offside. One linesman said one thing, the other said something else. Offside was brought to you by Alliance. 4.5 minutes into the third period. It's 2-0 in favor of the Bulls. Riley St. Ange rolls in behind the Bulls goal line. It's chipped up to Coffey. He will keep it in the zone. Puck is centered. St. Ange will shoot off the pad. The rebound pops right out. Backhand shot there from Halford. It's stopped by Grande, who got down in the butterfly pretty quick. Alexi Peltonen is tied up by Deterra. Two of them both going down. St. Ange picking up the change. Able to direct one back to Yanni at the blue line. Sends it behind the net again. Peltonen collects the puck. And he's got it flat. Turns and fires off the glove. And the rebound sent off the left pad of Grande by Coffey. Coffey returns to his customary position. Meanwhile, it's St. Ange twisting and turning, setting up Coffey with a little bit of space. Yanni to St. Ange. He couldn't collect it. Turnaround shot off the pad. Rebound St. Ange while diving. Gets tripped and shoots it off the side of the net. Best shift of the game probably for the IceRays. And boy, a penalty will be called for tripping, and it looks like the referee Lindner was hit with the puck after he blew the whistle, so that was interesting. The good news is the Rays will go back to the power play and might have a little bit of mojo going after that really nice shift. St. Ange came a couple of chances away from scoring his first IceRays goal. One shot hard and heavy off the pad, and the next, while diving, nearly curled it past the right pad of Grande, but hit it off the side of the net ultimately. So him falling down is what drew the penalty, the trip. And the Rays back to the man advantage for the 4th time in this game. They've not converted yet, nor have Amarillo. Special teams have been a non-factor so far, but the Rays looks like will be getting called for interference. And immediately that power play opportunity has just been snuffed out. Connor Yanni to the sin bin, and we go to the 4-on-4. Wilhelm feeds Aizioli. Aizioli motors up, feeds it onto the right side, nearly got the return pass. It trickled all the way through, went on net, and it's dealt with by Grande. Aizioli pickpockets McKiley, gets the return from Youngworth. Youngworth shoots it off the side of the goal from an impossible angle, but he was hoping for some sort of rebound, which didn't end up working out for him. Aizioli holds the puck in his own nicely. He's got Wilhelm on his right, but he shoots. And the first baseman snag is made by Grande to make the stop. Speaking of first basemen, the Astros maintain their 4-1 lead now with the 4th inning in the books. Top of the 5th coming up next with the Dodgers up to the plate. We hope our friends on Sports Radio Corpus Christi are having a good time broadcasting that game. Those of you who can't listen on 12:30 a.m. in Corpus Christi, it's on Fox as well. Puck is dropped over to Nick Fay on the 4-on-4. On the left side in the IceRays zone. And a shot there from Sokolov missed the far post. Chorney had a bounce away. The IceRays look like they're offside here, and a late whistle blows the play dead. Miller finished the shot. The Bulls aren't happy with that. He took a backhander right off of the pad of Jason Grande. That's a big no-no, and Brendan Miller sort of getting his just desserts after that. Taught at a pretty early age not to do that, and even though it was a harmless shot, it's just the principle that players are going to take exception to. He was clearly offside, the whistle clearly blown, and Miller kept skating in, stick handling, and ultimately shooting. And he's going to head to the box. That's just something you can't do, folks. And we'll see what they decide to give him. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Brendan Miller, and oh, that's the right call. So a 4-on-3 power play for Amarillo. That's going to be about 52 seconds long. Then they'll go to a 13-second 5-on-3, after which Connor Yanni will be let out of the box. 55 seconds after which Miller will be let out if there are no goals. Alford dropped it off for Regula on the crisscross, who will motor in against Mikhailian on the backhand and shovels it on net. And Grande had the paddle down all the way and made the stop. So it looked like was going to be another IceRays power play that St. Ange drew way back when. Now it's all of a sudden it's a 4-on-3 Bulls power play for the next 25 seconds. And here comes Acioli leading the rush with Halford on his left. The IceRays have nobody back here. They've got to be careful. And fortunately, I don't think the Bulls realized it in time. Mikhailian took it back and took his time. Still taking his time. Mikhailian finally starts the breakout now. To Chorney. Over the blue line for Stuckless. With a squeeze past Steinacher. Reverse one up the wall for Chorney on his right. Chorney surveying his options. Decides to go over to the left side for Alex Peterson, now to Mikhailian. Chorney's open in the far circle and gets the pass. Chorney to Fay. Right circle. Pulls the trigger. Looked like that might have gone off the mask of Acton. Nevertheless, he kept it out of the net. And here comes St. Ange on a 2-on-1. Short-handed. St. Ange shoots. He missed the net. Haverla picks it up while diving, flutters it back to Wilhelm, tees it up and slaps it through a lot of traffic. It's halted by Chorney, and he will slow things down. The Rays have killed off the 5-on-3, but still have 27 seconds to fight off on this 5-on-4 Bulls power play as a wrist shot taken by Stuckless misfired. Wilhelm clears it oddly off the glass and out to center. Bronson Adams taking over there. IceRays penalty kill is presented by Republic Services. It's already almost done, but look out, Wilhelm falls down. It doesn't cost the IceRays for now. Stuckless hoping to get it past Wilhelm's glove, no luck. And the veteran defenseman shoots one off a stanchion, bounces right to Halford, who's got some wheels. He finds St. Ange, who dips the shoulder and drives to the front of the net while falling down. He takes the shot and making the stop. Grande once again robbing Riley St. Ange for the 3rd or 4th time in this game, and things are heating up right now in the Bulls' crease. Everyone involved except for the IceRays defenseman. Riley St. Ange has just been so snake-bitten. He's deserved quite a few goals. He should probably have a handful this season, but he hasn't scored yet for the IceRays. It's such a long time coming. I can't really recall anyone this season who's been just snake bitten for whatever reason. Just can't seem to put one in the back of the net as close as he's come. I think CJ Regula, another one of those guys who, by all rights, has deserved to have a couple go in for him and just has not so far this season. And this time it's going to be Miller and Bronson Adams to the sin bin. 2 minutes aside for roughing, I believe. And counter Yanni Alex Truscott awaiting the official decision. Yanni taking over the captaincy duties with Miller back in the box. And Bronson Adams is being led off the ice, folks. You don't see it on your screen on Hockey TV, but his night is over. Adams has just been escorted down the tunnel. And he is done. We have not seen Miller be sent off yet. Shots are even at 34 apiece. The IceRays definitely doing a better job in this period of testing Grande, but he is just simply in the zone, any way you cut it. 11:18 to play, still plenty of time in the third. And we'll see what happens here. Miller's still in the box. Bronson Adams again was sent off. There's a 2-minute penalty against Amarillo, which is what we expected because Adams was sent off and Miller was not. And the timekeepers still have not informed us what the official decision is. Call coming at 8:42 of period 3. Regardless, the IceRays will get a 5th power play out of this, and they're going to hope it lasts longer than the 13 seconds that their last power play lasted. Game misconduct was called against Bronson Adams. 2-minute roughing and a game misconduct called against Adams. And I'm having a hard time reading that. Well, anyways, Adams' night is done and the IceRays are on the power play. Is the important thing you need to take from that. Like St. Ange got an elbow up on Steven Rex. Didn't do anything to sell it, might not have really hit him. That makes more sense. Removal of the helmet is what Adams was guilty of. Which I was wondering why Miller didn't have his helmet on. St. Ange is set up and lets it fly into the glove of Grande yet again. Would not be surprised if St. Ange led the IceRays in shots on goal in this game. Unfortunately now, there's no way of determining that. Last season they tracked the shots on goal. This season they do not. Mikhailian for Amarillo after a defensive zone win. It's sent to St. Ange, who's manning the left point now for Corpus Christi, to Wilhelm. To Peltonen, back to Wilhelm again. Who's the last IceRay to score in this building, Trevor Wilhelm. And it came in overtime. Puck's thrown hotly into the middle. Wilhelm's going to have to hold it in the zone. He does nicely. Skate-to-stick reception by Peltonen, who dribbles one down to Novo. Winters in front of the net. Wilhelm gets the puck in the deep slot. Long shot off the glove. It flutters into the corner there. Grande made the save. Novo tries to swing it back. It was read beautifully by the Bulls, and here they come on a 2-on-2 short-handed rush. Wilhelm interfering clearly with Peterson, and he's going to go to the box. Alex Peterson dumped the puck into IceRays territory. Wilhelm, out of frustration, it looked like, just took him out of the play. It was a very late hit, and interference is called against Wilhelm for that. We saw it last weekend, folks, with Matt Acioli, though that call was probably a pretty weak call compared to this one. That's the way things go now. If you're a defenseman and the puck's chipped past you, you've got to let the forechecker go. You can't hit him if he doesn't have the puck. You're given a very small grace period. And Wilhelm was outside of his rights when he decided to take Alex Peterson down, so he's going to head to the IceRays sin bin, and just like that, again, the Rays lose a very valuable power play. Still have not solved Grande in this game. 35 shots later. And 50 minutes of play later. We're halfway through period 3. The Rays with a 2-goal deficit to make up, both of which came off the stick of the Swedish winger Simon Morberg. Youngworth. Back to Yanni. It was between his skates. Branchot in on the forecheck. Yanni beat him to it. Coffey picks it up. Looked like he stole it from his own defenseman, who was in some dire straits there. Puck is sent over the blue line and chopped away from Youngworth. Taken by Branchot, who will give it to Chorny now in his own zone. Marcus Chorny turning. 5 in white, leading all Bulls defensemen in scoring with 3 goals and 3 assists for a total of 6 points this season. A +5 rating. Amarillo returning to full strength, and that abbreviated power play for the IceRays now officially coming to an end. 0 for 6 on the night. Check that 0 for 5. The Bulls caught offside on that zone entry. That offside presented by Ad Alliance. 9 minutes to play in the third, 2-0 Bulls. And they've got a 54-second power play to work with now. The IceRays have made it something of a habit to score shorthanded goals as the teams head to their third TV timeout, it looks like, or perhaps Brad Flynn called his timeout. I'm not sure. There wasn't an announcement on it. But Brad Flynn certainly looks busy down there with his whiteboard for the remainder of this penalty kill. And again, the Rays had a 2-game penalty kill goal scoring, or shorthanded goal scoring stretch going until last Saturday night at Nitech Sports Center. Their only goal of that game did not come shorthanded. It was at even strength. There was a shorthanded breakaway goal scored by Brendan Miller on that Friday night a week ago, and then a week before that, a shorthanded goal scored by Matt Acioli. Well, 6 days before that, his first goal of the season. His second shorthanded tally as an IceRay. He's out there right now. And the public address announcer here at the ACC making the announcement. The Astros leading the Dodgers 4-1 in the 5th inning. Neutral zone faceoff win by CJ Regula. Yanni lobs one down the ice into Amarillo territory. McIllian has to turn away. Halford forechecking. Good 150-foot pass out to center. It's dropped off. Curl and drag shot stopped by Acton on Alex Peterson, who drew this penalty. Just giving the Bulls another power play opportunity. No team has scored on the power play yet tonight. There have been ample opportunities to do so. 5 for Corpus, now 4. The Bulls are on their 4th. Win the offensive zone faceoff. McIllian for Chorny. In the left circle, gets away from Halford, puts it behind the net for Fay. It's reversed along by Peterson over to Chorny along the left half wall. Takes a check from Halford, eludes most of it. It's sent up to Russell, who fires. He is a sniper, but he missed the left peg. Fay to McIllian. Lets it rip through traffic. Stopped by Acton. Picked up by Chorny. Bounces one behind now. It's Peterson. Over to Fay. Missed his stick. Karams off the right corner boards. Fay curling up to the deep slot. Sets up Peterson, who fires. Nice save by Acton. And a good reactionary move over to his left side. The IceRays are back to full strength, but it's still in their zone. Finds Chorny. He's got some room and shoots. Blockered away by Acton, who's made another big save. Halford can't clear it past McIllian. Fay. And it bounced onto his tape, puts it in front, hoping for Russell. It's broken up, and here come the Rays on a 2-on-2, but they're sort of at the end of a pretty long shift here. We'll see what Angus Scott can do as he drives to the net and tries to go short side. Missed the post by a good foot or two. Coffey's long bid, easily stopped by Grande, and he will cover it up. 7.5 to play in period 3, 2-0. Favor of Amarillo. There hasn't been a goal scored since the 27-second mark of period 2. And the IceRays really hoping to do better by their goaltender, who's, hesitate to call him a rookie because he's played in the NAHL before, but he is making his first start as an IceRay tonight, and he's played pretty well. Can be a little bit frustrating as a netminder. You make one or two mistakes, and the team in front of you doesn't do much to help you out offensively. The IceRays have not been able to solve Grande at all tonight. Beautiful keep at the right point as Winter chips it into the left corner. Mattis Havrila is brought down behind the Amarillo net. Havrila and Winter both jostling away. Quinn Wormuth rolls it to Sokolov as he floats one high in the air, lands in the neutral zone. Coffey pursuing it. We get away from a few stick checks and then just sends it over to nobody in particular. Truscott there to pick it up. We get a whistle. The referee calling a hook against Amarillo, and Gleb Murdazan heads to the box. IceRays to their 6th power play of this game. Hooking called against Murdazan at 13:20 of period 3. 2-minute minor. IceRays power play has been held completely off the score sheet tonight, as has the Bulls power play. Acton sort of in two minds, thinking about whether to play that puck, decides not to, and Wilhelm picks it up. Got Novo, Peltonen, Miller, and St. Ange with him. Just one defenseman on this umbrella setup. Peltonen spins one to Novo. Novo hoping to get it to St. Ange. He's wrapped up by Wormuth. St. Ange comes up with it. Brings the puck into his wheelhouse, sends it up to Wilhelm at the blue line, who walks it. Peltonen, Wilhelm, St. Ange. Wilhelm again from straight away. One-timer from Peltonen. Kicked away, right pad save. And the second shot by St. Ange flutters aimlessly there into the right corner. I think that must have been blocked by something. It's sent out front. Peltonen sends it over to St. Ange, who has it and shoots. Pad save. Rebound right there for Peltonen. Can't get a shot off. Novo's shot on the turnaround didn't get through the traffic. St. Ange holds it in the zone. Good surge by the IceRays on the power play. St. Ange gets it from Wilhelm and fires. Stick save Grande. Loose puck in the crease. It's battled for down there as Miller can't get his shot off. Truscott on the backhand clears it past the stick of St. Ange and down. And again, we get a whistle here. Not sure what constituted that whistle. And the faceoff looks like it's going to stay in the Amarillo zone. There wasn't a penalty called, and the Bulls had just cleared it. Alex Truscott getting it down the ice, so the Rays catch a break. We'll see how aggressive Brad Flynn decides to get with pulling Jacob Acton. It's only a 2-goal deficit, so we do expect to see him yanked at some point, as Acton gloves the 200-foot shot from the Bulls zone and leaves it behind his net. Pavel Koreshkov, highly skilled Russian centerman, scored his first ever junior goal in this rink. He's hoping to score his second here as well. Curling into the slot with it, Larry Youngworth pulls up and fires, and he just missed the left post. Angus Scott battling behind the Bulls net. It's picked up and cleared by Amarillo. Blake Coffey on his horse, starts it up to center. Time winds down on the power play. Koreshkov feathers one around the wall. Slapped up to Colin Price, who had just hopped off the Bulls bench after their penalty had just expired. It's cleared down the length, and a foot race with Russell is Acioli, and that's the second time that John Russell failed to outrace the opposition for icing. So it looked like had the no-touch icing rule not been instigated a couple of years ago, John Russell probably would have won both of those foot races. Instead, he won neither of them. The Bulls have 6 players on the ice right now. Awareness, good smarts by the Harvard commit to tell his teammate to get off. They would have been called for too many men. Warmoth is checked hard by CJ Regula. Again, the Bulls have cleared it all the way down, and again, the IceRays benefiting from a no-touch icing call, and again, John Russell gets the short end of the stick. That's the 3rd time that he's been in a foot race for icing and would have won, but lost it because of the no-touch icing rule. Warmoth gets it up to Russell. Nice little backhand pass, and here comes Price. He's got some room on his backhand, is tripped, falls down, a penalty to be called, the net comes off. And Lindner is going to try to settle this down. There was a trip that happened. It wasn't Price, it was actually Simon Morberg who had the chance for the hat trick there, driving down the right wing. And honestly, this will probably benefit the IceRays if it's a penalty shot, but I don't think it will be. I think it'll be a 2-minute minor for tripping, so that's nearly half of the amount of time remaining in regulation, and the Rays are going to the box. Matt Acioli back to the sin bin again. 2 minutes for tripping, could have been a penalty shot, arguably, but it was not called, and that probably favors the Bulls because they can just sort of toy with the IceRays now, with the extra man having 2 minutes on a power play. Only 4 minutes remaining in regulation. Morberg squeezes past a check, gives it across to Warmoth, who lets it go, stopped. Rebound, score. And Morberg has the hat trick. Acton couldn't locate the rebound, and instead of just playing keep away, the Bulls went out and got their Swedish winger and their rookie his first career NAHL hat trick to make it a 3-goal deficit for the IceRays with 3:52 to play in the 3rd. So the assists on that goal by Morberg coming from Nick Stuckless and Quinn Warmoth. Stuckless in his Bulls debut, Warmoth a veteran defenseman, and Morberg having a game he'll never forget. Undoubtedly the first star of tonight's game. The second, fairly certain, will go to Jason Grande. The third, not sure. Good question. The Rays are going to try to get at least some sort of life heading into tomorrow night's game. They can still make this a contest, but they're getting really aggressive here. It's brought down the other way into the IceRays zone and dropped into the slot where it's picked off by Havrila. And Roof will go back to pick it up. Acioli can't get past Abdelnauer, who sends it beneath the IceRays goal line. Havrila for Wilhelm. Wilhelm up to Bud Winter. Winter was handcuffed there by Rex, and a shot from a tough angle is stopped, and the rebound on Rex stopped again by Acton. Loose down there, hacked wide of the goal. Rex hoping to drive it in behind the net. Wilhelm closed him off. He's fired off the boards and out to the neutral zone. Sokolov for Chorny, touch pass up to Abdelnauer. Hooks one off the end wall there. It bounces right to Connor Yanni. The puck is turned over as the backhand wraparound attempt there by Murtazan. Didn't work out. Acton had the post covered. And Yanni will get it up to Matt Novo. Novo flies one into the left corner. It'll bounce. Sokolov beating out Youngworth to the puck. Koreshkov takes a hit from Sokolov. And now wheeling up with it, Stuckless. We'll get it up to Alex Peterson. We've got a penalty behind the play. Sokolov being sent off, and Novo retaliates with a cross check to the back of Sokolov's head. Matt Novo about 10 inches shorter than Sokolov, nearly had to jump to deliver that blow. The linesman sending him off. Novo's night is done. Piled onto the IceRays for that. That was just a moment of frustration by the veteran forward, Matt Novo. He's going to be given some sort of roughing. Sokolov sent off as well, it's worth so. Looks like a double minor for roughing against Matt Novo, but there was something against Sokolov that went uncalled because I saw him leave. And the word I'm getting from the timekeeper is that he didn't do anything. Let's see what the PA announcer has to say. Oh, and then Regula just finished off his check, sort of just punched Batema down to the ground. And he's going to be called as well. So CJ to the box, and all of a sudden the penalty's starting to pile on here. The frustration clearly having mounted to its peak. And the Bulls have given the Rays all that they could handle here tonight. And unless something miraculous happens in the next 106 seconds, the IceRays are going to lose their first game in this building since February 20th of 2016. Brad Flynn had never lost a game here as a head coach. And it just was not his night tonight. Tonight it was Jason Grande's night, and it was also Simon Morberg's night. The hat trick and a shutout. Although the IceRays are going to hope to put an end to that second bit. But now Regula's being kicked out and the bench continues to shorten. Amarillo on a power play, it looks like. And Riley St. Ange is serving whatever it was that whoever did. At this point, I've lost track. It was certainly something that CJ Regula did. Okay, so CJ Regula serving a penalty. So my apologies, it's a 4-on-4. It's Nick Stuckless and CJ Regula serving offsetting penalties, but they both left the ice. There have been at least 3 ejections in this game on both sides so far. Long left point shot, and they score off the redirect. And is that a 4th goal for Simon Morberg? I believe so. My goodness. He scored in every way imaginable tonight, folks, and just added deflection to the list of ways he's managed to put the puck into the back of the net. What a night he's had. The Rays have had no answer for him. So John Russell on the assist. Oh, fairly certain it was Brendan McKylian who took the shot from the left side point, but very clearly it was tipped past Acton by Simon Morberg, who's had more goals tonight than he had all season up till now. That is his 6th goal as a Bull, 4 of them coming in tonight's game. And Jacob Acton, 36 of 40 on the evening. Perfectly followed Brad Flynn's law of averages, but unfortunately, Jason Grande did not. He's a perfect 39 of 39, and there's only a minute left for the IceRays to try to end that. There's a big juicy rebound conceded off the blocker of Acton. Ultimately sent wide by Alex Peterson, who is closed off by Michael Steinacher. Rather, that's Abdelnauer down there who punched out of his real estate. Now Alexei Peltonen up to Riley St. Ange. There's going to be somebody to end the shutout bid of Jason Grande. St. Ange should be the one to do it. It would certainly make narrative sense if that were to happen. The Rays down to their final 30 seconds to get some sort of momentum built up for tomorrow night. 4-0 the score. Again, folks, we'll be right back here tomorrow. Unfortunately, I will not have a whole lot of time for this post-game show. I had to borrow a headset from my buddy Dennis Pushka, the Bulls broadcaster. And that was the one thing that, after I was told that we go this weekend, I had to pack a second box, and that's the one thing that I forgot to bring. Game or tomorrow night's game afterwards for you too long, but back home. And for the first time in this 10-game road stretch, they've fallen below the 500 mark. They had been 3-1 heading into the Lone Star Series, but have now lost 3 straight, are 3-4 on the 10-game stretch. We'll hope to be 4-4 before heading back to Corpus Christi, only to hop right back on a bus a couple days later and go all the way up the 14 and a half or so hour bus ride to Topeka, Kansas next weekend